Welcome to the All Things BMX show live from the RITM studios in the busy metropolis of Heartland, Michigan. This is episode 32. And it is MOTO 2, by the way, because we have Harry Leary back on the show. Harry, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, man. As always, was looking forward to this. What, we talked last week about doing another one?
Yeah.
So, of course,
You are.
It's kind of like getting in the gate before a main event. Get all like butterflies in my stomach and nervous.
You are such a good salesman.
You guys are a big deal now. Shirts. You guys got shirts.
We do now. We got our. These are our new race uniforms, man.
You guys are elite.
Well, they might be an elite fit, but those that are in it are, at least in front of you, are far from it. So, it is Wednesday night. Last time you were on, it was a Friday night, so a little switch up.
So we're not going to go until 2 a.m. this time?
Hey, I cleared out my appointments for tomorrow morning to make sure. But I don't know about Chris. I don't know about Melissa, but
nope. 5 o'clock comes way too early.
Yeah, that's when I get up too.
Yeah. And I am your host, Justin Tompkins, longtime BMXer and lover of all things BMX, along with our co-host, Chris Beer. Chris, hey. I appreciate you taking time off from recording that new rap album, No THC in the CBD. And you remember, if you watched the last show,
oh, that's funny.
We call that a callback. We have our sound engineer, Paul Remington. He is remoted in from the beautiful shithole town. We're right off and running from Bertucky.
Sours.
There they are. Yes.
The watermelon are good too.
Yes.
Oh, that's golden stuff for us old guys, let me tell you.
It's for all of us. Paul's going to be in here from Bertucky. Jason took the night off because he is on washing and waxing duty of Chris's Bell 430 helicopter. Google what that bad boy is.
A name for it now. What is that?
Do you fly helicopters, or are you joking?
No, he literally owns like 9 of them.
Joking. Totally joking. I have no helicopter.
I always want to learn how to fly a helicopter.
He has an unreleased copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And also joining us from the west side of the Mitten, Mr. Charlie Salisbury, handling all things IT for us, so hopefully nothing crashes this evening. Sitting behind Chris and I at the Gate 9 Producers Perch, we have the exquisite and one smoking hot BMX mama, Melissa Williams. She is our producer and handling all things social media this evening. And as we see, our social media screen is up and running. Billy from Gate 9 is already in here.
How are we doing, Melissa?
I'm doing great. Billy's already pushing for us to go back to 2 shows a week.
He is.
No.
We need to get him more work, people.
Yeah. If you need number plates, actually jerseys, because he, you know what?
Yeah,
he will never admit he did the design on these.
Yep. This is our new team jersey, and Billy had a lot to do with it.
Hit him up. He is going to hate that.
Yep. Sorry, Billy.
But seriously, I mean, we're going to talk about him in just a minute. So
we are. We have another action-packed show for you this evening, and we have Harry Leary on here, and he's hanging out with us on the Mighty Mo's BMX Cruise video chat line this evening. We got another Jeremy Ames voicemail, and as always, our news, rumors, and gossip, and any sort of trash talking you guys want to send in to us, we're going to put it on there, and that's brought to you by Nate's Painting. Our show's opening is always brought to you by our friends over at Truth BMX. So it's time to get your beverage. Hopefully it's an adult one, and it's not a 9% alcohol one.
Oh, you're an asshole. I'm just going to say that right straight up.
Sounds like she calls them as she sees them.
Breaking the code. That was a low blow.
No, it was a great night. You know it was.
It was just an awful morning.
I bet it was.
The room is spinning, god damn it. It's time to grab some Mandingo pickles.
Such a jerk.
Some pickles.
But knowing you guys, you probably got in a car and drove to a BMX race the next morning.
Oh, I would have. Had it not been a
100%.
Thursday morning, I would have.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
She absolutely.
Anytime I see you guys posting, you're on your way to a BMX somewhere in another state.
That's our life.
That's what we do.
They're good at it.
Awesome.
We don't. We practice what we preach here at ATB. Yeah,
Cool.
we do. So it's time.
Justin knows how to show the gals a great time.
Especially these two. They're on it, man.
Hey,
Except when he rides a cruiser.
oh,
Yeah. And decides to crash right in front of his woman.
yes. It was rough.
Very rough.
But
I
it is time to grab some Mandango pickles and don't be late for the gate. Chris, let them know where they can watch, see, listen, our show.
All right. Again, welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for stopping in tonight. This is episode 32. Our guest is Leary. And make sure you are following us on Facebook. Like the Facebook page. We just hit 1,500 followers this afternoon sometime.
That was likes.
Thank you.
We have 1,700 followers,
Oh, I'm sorry.
which is
Likes.
nothing compared to Joe Rogan, but I'm just saying we're getting there.
All right. But
Who's Joe Rogan?
I was like,
Never
are we
heard of him.
I
comparing
don't know
to Joe Rogan?
who's that dude. All right. So, but what we need.
Well, that's Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Right on. What we need you to do is get over to our YouTube channel and like that and subscribe to that one, because we're really slacking on subscribers over there on the YouTube. And that's the best place to go catch all the replays of the show. You know, if you want to go back and check out our MOTO 1, I guess you'd call it, with Harry.
That's a good one.
Go back. It's on YouTube. It's the easiest way to find it. So subscribe, ring the little notification bell like they say in all those YouTube videos, and please do that. So our Facebook page is sponsored by our friends over at Heavy Pedals BMX Zine. YouTube is brought to you by T-Bone BMX. You're looking for custom jerseys or any of that type of thing, like these guys right here. T-Bone BMX, check them out. We're also on Twitch, which is taken care of by RSVP Wedding and Event Planning. And Twitter, sponsored by Holly Power Sports. You can also get the audio-only version of the show, a podcast version, on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts from. Check us out there. Also, as always, we want to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for the show, guests you'd like to see, get a hold of us at allthingsbmxshow@gmail.com. Oh, and I forgot to give our little plug there. All our podcasts are sponsored by our friend Billy over at Gate 9 Custom Number Plate. So if you're looking for a custom plate for yourself, for your team, get a hold of Gate 9. Billy will take care of you. He will hook you up with an awesome design. So, let's see, we covered email. We are good to go.
RSVP Wedding and Event Design. Anything you can imagine under the sun for your wedding, corporate event, parties, or even private events. Winner of the prestigious Best of Weddings by the Knot. Family owned and operated by some really cool BMXers. Call them now, 248-301-5522. And tell them that the Michigan BMX Podcast Show sent you. There we go. So some of the unexpected things, and what I was saying was, sorry to unmute, a little excited. We had the highest gaining that we had at the silent auction in Waterford Oaks was Harry's 2015 rock plate. And Harry sent this to us. We didn't solicit for anything like this. We just appreciate our guests. He sent to everybody. So if Charlie's listening right now, you got one on your way. But he took time out to make this himself. And these are some of the covers that you've been part of. You autographed him. And I'm going to tell you what was really, really neat is you took the time to go out and for everybody on the show, kind of personalize it for each person. You told me to keep it rubber side down. You told Chris keep it old school. You know,
Yep.
very unexpected, man. I got to thank you. That's just thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
My honor, guys. You guys, you're doing a lot for the passion that you have for our sport, and you know, some of the guests that have come on, you know, in the last month or so, kind of it's really cool to see and be a part of it. So congratulations on your show and the success.
Well, thank you very much. We really do appreciate that, for sure.
Yes. So this evening we have Moto 2, because I just have a feeling we're probably not going to get all the way through your career. And when I was earlier, while I was sitting at work, I was listening to our first podcast, and I'm like, because I had to figure out where we stopped the podcast and then started. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So
we do want to make sure everybody gets in the chat.
Oh, yeah,
if you
absolutely.
have any questions, Melissa's monitoring the chat, so she can get these questions out to Harry. Also in the chat, let us know where you're listening at, so we know where you're from. All that kind of stuff, and make sure you like and follow the Facebook and YouTube channel and all that. We just said that, I guess, so I'm repeating myself, but oh well.
Chris gets nervous with big guests around. It happens.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I forgot to turn the mute off.
That's true.
Don't worry, man.
Hey,
it's
is
good.
it off now?
No, we're all good now.
We're good now. But anyways, get your questions in the chat, please. Yeah, and I guess, you know, maybe we should do a quickie little review of a couple things we talked about with Harry the first time. Like, when did you start racing, Harry? How did you find the sport of BMX? We'll kind of review that, and then we'll jump back into more of the stuff that we left off last time.
Wow. Well, like all of us old guys, me personally, I wanted to race motorcycles. My dad said no. And so I found another outlet, and I started to imitate that of motorcycle racers. And then I went to a bike shop and found Elaine Holt, Bicycle Motocross News. And that was the beginning of it for me, because I had already been kind of like riding and jumping and working on my wheelies, and I couldn't go off my street because I was only 11.
Okay.
And, you know, my parents were very strict,
Sure.
Which is cool. It's too bad more parents aren't strict. You know, I don't think we'd have the situation we have with what's going on in the world. But they were very strict, and I couldn't leave my street. And so everything I did, I jumped trash cans from my house, blah, 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 blah. And I needed a bike part or something. And I went down to Coach Schwinn, right down, you know, maybe a mile from my house. And on the counter was this Bicycle Motocross News. I bought it, or he gave it to me or something. And then I started thumbing through it. And, you know, I saw, you know, David Clinton, Brian Ramzinski, Stu Thompson. I saw all the guys that kind of laid the foundation for our sport.
Kind of the pioneers.
Yeah. The true pioneers.
Right.
You know, I get called, and some of the guys in our era get called pioneers, but we really were kind of riding the coattails of those guys, you know. And today is Ernie Alexander's birthday.
Oh, that's right. I saw that earlier today.
Yeah. And Ernie Alexander and Suzanne, they started the NBA, which really technically was the very first sanction
for BMX racing. Yeah.
So yeah, you got guys, you know, you got Perry Kramer, you got Tom Lund, John Palferman, all these like hardcore Neil Bonds, Bobby Encinas. You got all these guys that raced that sanction back then, and they were way out in another valley, and I was in the San Gabriel Valley. So I was like, I owned San Gabriel Valley, kind of, and all these other guys were out in another valley. So, you know, as soon as I figured out how, you know, where you had to go race and what you had to go do, I wasn't old enough to drive. I didn't have a car, and so I had to figure out how to go race these guys, and it was really difficult.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So about what year was that, roughly? I don't know if you know.
73,
exactly.
4, 5.
Okay.
That was the early years.
Okay.
And then around late 75, 76, got on JMC. And then it was a little bit easier to get to races. I just had to ride 6 miles to the JMC shop in order to get in the team van to get a ride to go races. And then after the races, we'd get back to the JMC shop, and I'd have to ride home.
Ah.
So it was at 11 o'clock at night.
All right.
With a toolbox and a helmet bag.
Right. And then that eventually led to Diamondback and
Yes.
so on. So from there,
Yes.
so okay.
Yeah, I got fired from JMC and got hired by Diamondback, and the whole Diamondback thing, took off.
Okay.
Yes.
And we covered it. So if you folks want to hear all that, go back to
Moto 1.
Moto 1. I don't remember what episode number it was, but go back.
I think it was called,
it was a Friday Night Live.
You know,
actually.
I was when I was listening to it it was right when we were getting ready to switch the name.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's kind of neat.
Okay.
But yeah, make sure you guys go back, listen to the first episode, because when you talk about all the things that happened with, you know, the JMC and moving over to Diamondback and things like that,
It was cool.
one thing I'll say, and I've said since you've been on the show, one of the best storytellers we've had.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wow, thank you, man. You know, it's funny. This sport has always been and still is a very important part of my life to this day. You know, and if I, you know, jump forward to the new sponsor and the new program and all the new bikes I just got and everything I'm doing, it's been a true part of my life. And I have probably put it as a priority more than I should have, let's say in like relationships and such. Mm-hmm. But when something is as pure and as, like, you know, important to you, it's hard to give that up. So
well, it's something that's
it's fun to talk about the passion and the things that happen, because as a kid growing up, I mean, I was 21 years old going in renting a rental car. Come on, Hertz. Get a clue. You don't rent a rental car to a kid from California. And he's 21 years old and he's got a Diamondback credit card. You don't just do that.
So you're the reason it's 25 now.
I swear to God, we changed all the rules.
Yeah, apparently.
Rental back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, and those
it wasn't all us. It was Mongoose had a lot to do with it. You know, they were putting cars in the river, and
it was them other guys.
You know,
it was the other guys.
But anyway, I appreciate it, and I love talking about, you know, what the sport can do for kids and what the sport can do for parents and what the sport can do for families, because it truly is a family sport. You know, when you're in the pits and, you know, or you're under your easy up and mom and dad, you know, is running the credit card and to get you to the races in the motorhome, and, you know, they're dealing with COVID-19 and this and that. When that kid goes up to the starting line on his own, that's a pretty big deal, I think. You know, you look at average 8-year-old kids out there who sit around, and I know quite a few, that can't walk and chew gum at the same time without their fucking Nintendo in their hand. It's pathetic. But you got 6-year-olds. There's a kid in Vegas. I think his name's Maverick.
Well, with a name like that, he's destined for greatness.
He's jumping these huge triples. It's just, I love it. I just love the sport.
You should be flying over them.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Well put, Melissa.
There you go.
What'd she say?
I said he should be flying right over those with a name like that.
Maverick.
Maverick.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, Goose.
That's Goose.
Was your favorite scene the volleyball scene?
No.
No.
It probably was Val Kilmer walking out just shirtless.
Yeah, I'm not going to share.
That was the volleyball scene.
Oh, you're
That
right.
was the
Yeah, that
volleyball
would be the volleyball scene.
I don't know. It's been a while since.
Anyways, I appreciate it. And I can't wait to talk about BMX for however long you guys want to talk about it.
We might end up with Moto 3 quarter or an eighth, a quarter, a
might have
semi, and a main.
16ths, eighths,
16ths.
quarters, semis, mains.
16ths, we'd have to
That's how
cut
it
back to
goes.
the 16ths. We definitely have to cut back to the 80s. Real fast, I want to give some shout outs to those that are joining us. Brian Wilson from T-Bone, who did the jerseys, he's joining us over on YouTube. Thanks for joining. Gate 9 number plates, they're hanging out with us on Facebook. Robert Cardoza, who we got the pleasure to meet last weekend.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, really cool story with him, and hopefully we can get him on the show to share that story. Woody Story.
I feel sorry for that guy
Why?
because his girl is in England and she can't get here.
That's right.
He was kind
Yeah.
of telling us that a little bit.
Yeah, it's horrible, man. It's horrible. And they love each other so much, and she can't get here. Yeah. Hey, Robert.
And then Randall David's hanging out there with us this evening. Agent 9, Nick DeSanti, thank you. He's
Hey, Nick.
dedicated all the time. Mike Mag, he's hanging out with us. Beast Mode Schroeder
Mike.
from Toledo. And Martin Kennard, you guys, thank you guys. Amanda Plowman.
Hey, is Martin Kennard related to Trey Kennard?
I don't think so, but he is Martin is a pretty badass racer, though.
Yeah.
I gotta
Trey
say.
Kennard was pretty badass.
Amanda,
Yeah, I was
she
saying,
is
hey,
from the
Amanda.
far north. Is that the name of the track?
She's. I don't know
She's
the
in
name of the
Alaska,
track,
right?
but
Yeah.
she's at the Alaska in a town called North Pole, Alaska. I know
What?
that. Yeah.
That sounds pretty north.
Yeah.
That
That
seems
sounds
really
about as
north.
freaking north
That
as you
sounds
can
about as far
go.
north as you want to go.
Yeah. She's getting involved in BMX up there. She used to be part of the volunteer crew at Waterford Oaks and had a job opportunity. They headed north to Alaska, and they're up there. I think they're going to maybe start a team up there. and
Only track in Alaska.
There's
correct?
only one. Yeah.
It's wild. Also, we got Moses Tillman. He needs to know.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to know.
No.
You see the banner? You see the
Mo
poster?
needs to know.
Mo needs to know. Any chance you're going to be on that cruise next year?
With Stu Bob?
Yeah.
And Melissa and I.
Yeah, that's enough reason right there.
You know what? I think it would probably be the most fun you could possibly have. Which
I'm
a
feeling
bunch
a
of
butt coming
BMXers
on here.
with a bunch of BMXers that don't have to worry about racing
Yep.
Right.
the next weekend.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a very liquid visit.
Liquid visit. Well, being that it's Monday through Friday, you could still race on the weekends. I mean,
No, but you can't do that if you're paid to race.
no.
Yeah.
It's
Wait, is it actually a Monday through Friday?
yeah.
Where's it go out of?
Mo.
Mo. We need you to chime in ASAP.
just-
It has to go out of Florida.
I would
I
assume
mean, it is
goes
out of Florida.
so
Yeah.
we could hit a track on the weekend
Hey,
before the cruise.
we could land
The
or
hell
whatever
did I
boats
start?
do.
Hold on.
dock.
Okay, we're all,
thanks.
oh, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, they
World
dock.
Cup.
I think would be cool if I go and we have all these ex-BMXers, we do a vintage race before we get on the boat. Some local track there in Florida, and then we get off the boat and we do another race and see who drank the least.
For whatever reason, Mo and company thought it was a great idea to have a bunch of BMXers play dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Yeah. T-bone.
It-
Is it
Of
T-bone?
course he would,
no.
because all us old guys have jacked up shoulders. We can't
Right,
throw a ball.
exactly. It's going to be funnier than anything else.
And
I don't want to hurt my
it's
shoulder, and I couldn't win the vintage race when we got off the boat.
And it wouldn't matter how much you drank then.
but it'd have to be on vintage bikes. It's got to be on vintage bikes. And the reason I'm going to say that is yesterday I was over at one of the previous guests' bike shop. He's in Holt, Michigan. I'm over at Scooter's bike
Scooter's,
shop.
yeah.
And he has one of the Turbo Harry Diamondbacks from like the 80s. And I'm looking at this bike. I keep looking at it on the shelf. First of all, it looks like it's like this long.
It is this long.
Okay, good.
And that's no reflection of my personal.
That's what she said.
All the time she said that.
And I'm going,
That's no
Wait.
reflection on the true Harry.
and I remember talking in the last show. You're like, man, like you just had basically like 18-inch, 19-inch top tubes, man. That's what you raced on. And I'm like, so I'm standing in there, and he's like, And I'm looking at that bike, and I took some pictures of it, and I was like, this is what, like, you know, he, if you remember, after the show was done, just a little hint for those that weren't in the after show Zoom meeting, he's the one that tried to buy your hat from you, just for the record. So you.
Oh, my Dirtworks hat right here?
Yes. Yep. He was the one that tried to buy that off you. So, so he, shout out to Scooter if you're on already. They did have a ride, or no, they got a ride tomorrow. So he told me, I can't hang out and drink that late tonight. I'm like, whatever, dude. But he goes,
that's a true champion right there.
He goes, but I'm looking at the bike and I'm like, that's what they rode on, dude? Because, I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it in person, and it looked like one of them little circus bikes, you know? And I'm going,
was it like an expert size, or was
no,
it
it was a flat-out pro, but dude,
no, it was like
tiny,
a junior
man.
size.
Oh, was it?
I mean, for
my God,
now time, it was.
So I raced one in Australia. They flew me over, and so I did a vintage race on a turbo that this friend of mine built, Nathan, and Glenn Ballinger from Bicycle Works in Australia, and Arthur, these guys over in Australia built this perfect turbo replica, and I had to race this thing. I must have wheelied that thing all the way down to the first jump. It was so short. It was, and I got pictures of like me trying to ride it. My face is like all contorted, trying to figure out like what to do with this thing. It was way too short.
Your knees are banging the handlebars, stem and everything.
Yep.
Let me get this.
And I got one over here. I showed you guys already, right?
Oh yeah, last time you showed us,
Yeah. Okay.
So that it's actually like a junior size. Then you're saying the ones they mass.
Yeah, that thing is a current junior length top tube. The rear end is a little bit longer, but the front end area, as we call it now.
Okay, we got
tight.
a picture up on the
It looks
screen now.
really square.
It's tiny too. Like it's wild, man.
Yeah, it's a baby bike.
Yep. And here was the thing. He said, Stu Thompson would have rode one. I'm like, wait, he's. I mean,
Stu's gotta be what,
I
like
met him down at
6'3"
Race.
or something?
Yeah, he's a tall cat, you know. I'm like, wait, really? He's like, yeah, man, because that's the frames that they had right there. That was.
And I think the mongooses that he rode at the time, you know, back then were even shorter than this. So yeah, it was
Well, you know, back in the 80s, you know, the handlebars, we always pushed them forward, right? You know, a lot of guys did that.
Chicago style.
Yeah.
They call it Chicago.
Got to have the Chicago style.
Yeah, and the seat post a mile high up in the air.
Well, that's
Apparently you had to accommodate for
We had no idea what we were doing back then.
all I knew is that's what they had in the magazine, so that's what I did.
There goes my JMC right there.
Yes.
Middle top.
There it is, right there. Is this one? This one's yours?
Yeah.
Let me get this one up here, big.
That was a
I'll
workshop
grab
bike
it up
right
there
there.
real quick.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah. So the bike's night and day between back then and now, for sure. Yeah, that was something.
But you know, I mean, it's thing. You know, function equals style.
Right.
So you know, when those bikes were great pedaling bikes, because they were, you know, everything was very compartmental. I mean, I can't say that word, but you were right over the cranks. The bars were right in front of you, so you could make it go really easily. But they really didn't work over, you know, big jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there was a lot
my
of.
dog?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Come here. She's right here.
What do we got?
Oh my gosh. That's a big.
That's my girl.
That's a bigger dog than I expected.
You know?
Is that lab?
Yeah, she's a black lab.
Oh, she's
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
Cool.
She's the best dog ever.
I bet.
Okay. So has the dog got a BMX name or anything?
No, her name is Sheena. She was a rescue. My sister does rescues.
Oh, cool.
And she was on her last day at a kennel, and I said, bring her over.
Aw.
That's awesome.
And that was in 2010. So
Match made in heaven, then.
There you go. For sure. All right.
I know a couple
I was just
of
gonna
shout
say-
outs from the chat here, Harry. Let me go back up to the top here. Well, Agent 9 wanted to have me ask you. He says you're in the same class as him, and ask him how you took him out in practice a couple years ago in Vegas.
He was probably just in the way.
He was in the way.
Yeah, I mean that sounds really logical. And then,
Usually people get taken out if they're in the way.
just
But no, I think we were in the last corner. It was practice, and I went kind of really high in the corner to kind of let everybody go by.
Okay.
And when I shot down, he was there, and we hit, and
okay.
he took me out. I didn't take him out.
That's kind of what you're describing.
That's
for
what it
sure.
sounds like to me.
Woody Story says, "Nice seeing you at the Desert Classic with Howard."
Oh yeah, do you guys know who Howard Wharton is?
No, the name's not familiar.
Howard Wharton was the Diamondback team manager after Sandy Finkelman quit or left or whatever. His son was Jason Wharton, who was an ABA national #1 amateur. Rode for JMC, then Diamondback picked him up. Very, very, very talented rider, very disciplined rider. We won a lot of team trophies with him on Diamondback. So his dad, Jason, his dad, Howard, is always at Black Mountain.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's that connection there. Good guy.
Right.
And when I was at Black Mountain, I sat with Howard Wharton the whole time, and he had a couple extra chairs, and so him and I just kind of talked about old DB days.
Oh, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So one of the things is, what class are you racing now? Do you race cruiser, 20? What age group? All that stuff.
I ride 51 and over X on a 20.
Okay.
20 is the sport. 20-inch bikes is BMX. Cruisers are a secondary, and no pun intended, Justin. I'm not bagging on you for riding a cruiser.
Hey! I ride
He
both,
rides
bro.
both. He warms up on his cruiser.
Yeah, he does both.
Well, warm up,
But-
crash.
You said it, not me, Ben.
Yeah, and then I ride, because I had a birthday in February, so I'm 61, so I ride 61 and over expert. And so there are Turnell Henry, who's 61, Stu Thompson is 61. So we have a pretty competitive class if everybody decides to show up.
Wow.
So
Sure.
in Phoenix at Black Mountain, I didn't have a cruiser, so I went and borrowed this girl's cruiser. This thing had pink grips, pink hubs, pink brake cable. This little tiny bike, kind of like my old Diamondback. And so I raced her cruiser in the 61 and over, and I got first.
Hey,
And
there.
then
Nice.
I got fifth and 20-inch that day.
Interesting.
But it's fun to switch it up and change out the bikes and do that. I hit the cruiser class every now and then.
Wait,
You should.
You do?
Here's the deal on cruiser
At
class.
Waterford,
Though.
I do.
If you're my age, you're gonna race me.
Right.
That's not fair. That's not fair for you. Because I hear it all the time. Why are you in the cruiser class? You shouldn't be in our cruiser class. No, dude, you shouldn't be in my cruiser class. You should be on a 20-inch racing novice or intermediate, getting your skills up, learning how to ride a bike before you jump into an because cruiser is truly an expert class.
Yes, it is.
I would
It is
say
an expert
so,
class. So you get these dads who, go to the gym every day and can squat 400 pounds, but they end up on their head after the first jump. And, then they blame a guy like me for all the years that I've done and the skills that I have that I shouldn't be in his class. No, dude, you shouldn't be in my class. So, and this is where we were talking about, longer 20-inch bikes. If you ride a long 20-inch bike with a big wheelbase, the bike is a lot more forgiving, and it's a good place for new people to start. And this way you develop your skills, you learn how to ride again, or you develop, and then you work your way into the expert class on a 20-inch, and then migrate into the cruiser, and if you decide, hang up the 20-inch.
Yep. Okay. I would say
You
I
want
would
to
say
race?
for sure.
You want to race, Harry?
Well,
He doesn't want to race me.
I'll follow.
I want to
him.
watch him.
How's
I'll
that?
follow him.
I'll follow him. How's that? I wouldn't call it a race. I would say I'm gonna follow and see where you go. I would say it that way for sure.
Learn new lines.
Exactly. That's it.
You know, there's people in
I mean, there's
our
no
class
lie.
that we have,
I
right?
am not fast, so let's just say I enjoy BMX quite a bit. I'm not that fast. I wish I was better.
Why aren't you that fast?
Well, I'm not. I give it my best shot, but it's just.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I've been waiting so long for this. Give him the shit.
You don't give it your best. If you gave it your best, you would be the best.
He's the best.
That's the
He's
beauty
the
of
best
this
co-host.
sport.
He's the best
That's why
co-host
the
you can
sport is
ask
so
for.
cool.
Yeah.
Chris always keeps me very grounded when I start getting upset and pissed off because of the time I'll put on my bike and maybe I don't get the results, and then I hang out with Chris and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
You know what, though, Justin? You should be pissed off. You should be upset. You should be disappointed because you just said you put the time on your bike. For the guys that put the time in and don't get those results that they showed up to, that they had in their mind to get, you should be upset at yourself because that takes you back to square one.
Always.
And you go home and you work more and you work harder and you come back and you even, you went on your head 2 weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure that you're not even thinking about that anymore. You're thinking about, okay, well, if I was in first and not third, I wouldn't have been on my head.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, man.
Yeah. So you're going to go do the work. You're going to do the sprints. You're going to do the plyo jumps. You're going to do all the things that you need that you've been doing because this sport is so difficult. It's easy to make up 2 or 3 feet at a first jump.
Yep.
It's easy to make that up. Those last 2 inches of the guy who's in front of you, right at the first jump, those last 2 inches are months and months and months of sprints and plyometrics and diet and discipline and all the stuff it takes to go from here to here.
Yeah.
But if you stay at it and you stay focused and disciplined on yourself and your goal and everything you do, you'll get there. Just don't hit your butt on the rear tire because your wife will be off.
There's nothing worse than a taint burn on a cruiser. It's terrible. It's like, we got to grab a commercial real quick.
This is where I reel it back in.
Funny thing, I jumped in front of you to reel it back in, which very rarely happens. We're going to go listen to our friends from Magic BMX.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's time to experience the coolest store you've never been to. Hey, Metro Detroit, it's time to experience the coolest store you've never been to. Magic Motorsports in Waterford. Discover over 40,000 square feet of savings. From motorcycle parts, accessories, and service to hoodies, coats, jackets, and sunglasses from Oakley and Spy, and so much more. Looking for that perfect gift? You'll find it here. Get big discounts on everything every day. We also carry the area's largest selection of BMX bikes and accessories. And we change motorcycle tires while you wait. Magic Motorsports on Dixie Highway just west of Telegraph in Waterford.
All right, and we are back. We even got the mute off this time.
Who's that bearded guy down below me?
There you go.
Well, they can't. Oh,
That's the bearded
Well,
dragon.
that is who I did not get turned off.
Roman?
That is Roman. I didn't get him turned off before we come back from commercial, so Paul is now live on the air. But he has his Christmas lights down. Paul, can you hear us yet? He can't.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
there he
Jesus.
goes.
Well, welcome to the show, Paul.
Welcome to the show.
Say hi to everybody, Paul.
Sorry I'm so late, but we had another 50 kid practice tonight.
Well, that is
Awesome.
Good.
That's horrible.
Dude, I was just listening to your encouragement words to Justin and Chris there. So, I feel it coming. How you doing?
Yeah, but Paul, you're the only one. You're the only one out of us all that has a legitimate reason. Your neck is fused together, so it's better you're not.
Yeah, but that's no excuse, right?
You just got to wear a light helmet.
Right. A gigantic neck brace.
Yep. Don't use a Leah.
What's that thing you say? You just got to man up, Paul.
Yeah. That's what SSI will tell me too.
Is that your family on the wall?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's my granddaughter right there. That's the most beautiful lady on the planet.
And,
You're a successful human. Good job.
and a racer. Very, very soon.
Yeah, screw the racer part. He's a successful dad.
Yeah,
He's-
for sure.
So, but everything sounds good.
Thank you. So, if for those joining us that don't know, Paul is actually our sound guy. Typically, he hangs out in the studio with us, but he is the president of one of the tracks here in Michigan, and he has responsibilities. And practice night is on Wednesday, which when we do the show. So he takes care of the track. And as it sounds, you guys had a really good turnout with 50 people.
Unbelievable.
So, great job, and everything sounds good. So, Paul, thank you.
Yes, sir. So you can turn my ugly mug off, and I'll
can throw
sit back
you
in the shadows and listen to you guys talk to Harry.
All right.
Thank you.
Under that
Hey, Paul,
rock.
thank you. Thank you for doing the work you do for our sport. Without guys like you and Justin,
dude,
the guys
not a
that
problem.
track operators and put all the time in, our sport would be nowhere. So thank you for what you do for the kids.
I'm honored to have been told that by Harry Leary. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm all giddy.
We'll give you.
Good job, man.
Look at that
I'm-
schoolgirl.
Hopefully I can come. One of these days, I plan to come ride your track. It'd be great.
Oh, that would
Dude,
be
I'd be
amazing.
honored to have you. And I will race you. I'm not Chris or Justin. I'll race, but
I'll
I
take
don't care
my
how
chain
far I
off.
lose. I raced Harry Leary.
I'll take my chain off.
Dude, that still ain't gonna help me.
That's why I'm going to take my chain off.
All right, start with the front wheel.
All right. Or backwards. No chain, and I'll start backwards.
Now, I don't
Oh,
know.
there we go.
I don't know if you remember or
That
not.
sounds like my kind of race.
I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know if
Thanks,
Harry,
Paul.
I don't
All
know.
right, thank you. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of the show.
Good job, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Nice family.
Thank you.
Harry may not remember. Paul sat actually next to me at the first show, but he was like most of us, all so starstruck. He sat like this.
Oh, remember the arms crossed.
So you are up on the TV above the main one that we have here in the studio. I sent you a picture of it. He sat like just so stoic the whole time, and I remember like looking over. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if Paul's still breathing or not right now.
Dude, are you all right?
I'm like, you
Are you
good,
all
dude?
right?
You good? It was great. It was such a great time. And again, thank you for joining us for the second
Paul.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Paul, before
Hey,
you
did
go.
Paul get
though.
a picture?
Yeah,
Yes,
he did.
Yes, sir, I did. Thank you very much.
I have the video. Melissa filmed him opening it, and I got to send it to you because he opens
Okay.
it and he. Well, I don't want to tell you. It's
Yeah.
it's a great reaction.
Yeah,
it was
he's-
awesome.
He's very appreciative for sure.
Yeah.
Paul, Billy has a task for you.
Uh-oh.
He says, thanks, Paul. The show sounds good, but can you teach Justin where the mute button is?
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, we still have that problem in the studio.
I got another one for you, just for those that.
Hey, Justin had a very hard crash last week or 2 weeks ago. He might have landed on his head.
Oh, there's
Didn't land on his head.
You know, that problem started before that.
No, his helmet was scraped up. He showed a picture.
Yeah, I spent a good portion of that fall skidding across my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a wicked one for sure.
Yep.
The worst was the orca-like noises that I made trying to catch my breath. And I knew, and the worst part is there's two things that are going through my head as I'm trying to catch my breath, sounding
Work.
like
Your wife.
No, future
No.
wife. Future wife is one. Two, son of a bitch, Chris Luna is gonna make fun of me so bad. So I'm laying there.
I got a great story about Chris Luna.
So I'm laying there, and I know Melissa's like this far behind me because that's how close it is to the fence, and I'm like, just you know the
You got
noise
the
you make
wind-
trying to
wind
catch your
knocked out
breath.
of you?
yeah.
And I hear
Yeah.
and like all this noise, and I hear Melissa's like, just breathe. You know, I hear her. Finally, I catch my breath, and I hear, of all people, Chris Luna over.
Because it was Justin's birthday.
It was my birthday. So I hear Luna, you want to tell Justin he's
Shut
not
up,
supposed to be
Randall.
rolling around in the dirt for his birthday. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Doesn't that guy have a great sense of humor?
He's a great guy.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
I 2 weeks ago, I went out to Chandler BMX at the track, and I walk into the snack bar, and there's Chris Luna behind the taking sign-ups. You know, and he goes, because
What?
I told you about the Dine and Dash story in Las Vegas, right?
Yes,
Yes.
you did.
Last time. So Chris Luna came down and bailed out my crew who dined and dashed, and we had the entire security department from South Point chasing us. 6 security guards because we done it, and Luna had to come down and save us.
Oh my God.
So as soon as I walk in, he goes, "Dude, you still owe me a dinner." So
Yo.
he's
Well, you reminded him on the last show that you were on.
yeah, I know, right? But I was surprised to see him behind the sign up in Chandler.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole story behind the whole Chandler track.
But that's
It was the first ABA race we went to, and JMC was invited, free room and board, and we slept on the floor in that very snack bar.
That was
1976.
Well,
that
was
a
free.
free room and board.
It was free. Okay, thank you.
They just you didn't expect it to be the floor of the snack bar and hot
I
dog and
was
chips,
expecting
right?
a little bit of a mattress.
Yeah,
Right.
I could see where
For
that
sure.
might have been helpful.
But they invited the team, though. That's like, I can't think right now of like a team. You know, if you put your track operator hat on, or a track president, whatever title you want to put, but you think about that for a minute, like what you're saying, and you're like, we're gonna invite a team to come to the track because that team is that big of a promotion.
Yeah.
You know, that's right now. That's kind of what's missing. Like, we're missing that all-star, superstar team.
Well, you also got
Can
to.
I bring my tent and sleep at Waterford Oaks?
No, you can stay at. Well,
Yeah, I want to go to Waterford Oaks so bad.
oh, you can stay here, or you can stay at Chris's mansion.
Chris has a mansion. Can we fly helicopters?
He's got a.
I want to fly helicopters.
I don't have a.
Well, he
mansion.
has one on Flight Simulator.
Don't have a helicopter.
But you do.
I'm sure we can work out something. that
You do
can
have an
save
alpaca.
over- No, I don't.
You sent pictures.
You sent pictures, Chris. I'll pull them
That
up,
was
dude.
just when I happened to beat. Whatever. I can't win, man. I give up.
Chris doesn't have a mansion. However, he has a peasant entry that he will send you GPS locations to. So the day that I go to his house to pick up some video recording equipment, he sends me his peasant GPS map, low follow, and I'm like driving down this dirt road and shit. I get to his house, I pick up this equipment to go film races, and he's like, by the way,
Don't go.
you
back
can go
that way.
this way, and it's all
Don't go
paved.
that way.
And I'm like, the hell did I just go down a road I needed my 4-wheel drive for? He's like, that's the way we send the peasants.
I didn't say that either.
He didn't, but we
That's
like
that's
to
the
tease
way
Chris.
that Apple lady, whose name we're not going to say because we don't want everybody's
That's so
phone to go
She
off.
does. She does send you that way, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are probably cussing at Siri.
Yeah.
I actually going down that road. I was cussing at Chris at the moment. 'Cause I'm like, Jesus, I got a glorified goddamn minivan. This thing isn't supposed to go down this kind of road.
For you.
You took the White's car, huh?
No, it's mine.
No, he did not.
No,
No,
actually,
she's got an F-150.
Melissa's got a 4-wheel drive F150.
All right, so do I.
Yeah, it's.
All right.
No.
She's got the sport version.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Justin's driving the mom van.
And I got my GMC Acadia, which is a glorified mom van.
Cool.
All right, so as we're talking the teams, you've been part of many teams, and the last show. Now that we're about a solid hour in,
We are. Oh my gosh.
are. We left off like right around the end of the '90s, early 2000s. Okay.
Yep.
So we want to, kind of bring us up to date, 90, 2000s, who we riding for. Actually, we made it out of the 90s. We kind of talked about that, and we were really at the beginning of the 2000s the last time you were on. So, we'll pick it up from 2000. Where were you at? Who were you racing for? And, what were you doing?
Wow. So I did the whole Dirtworks thing, right? We talked about that. My Dirtworks company.
Touched on that. Yeah. We touched on that. I
Barely touched on it, though.
So
because-
why don't we
so-
start there?
Let's start there.
Okay, so I left Diamondback in 90. I want to say 90. So I can't. I'm really bad with the exact years.
It's
there's
fine.
people out there that are going to go, "No, you did it this year," but the story doesn't change. It's just where I might overlap some years. So I left Diamondback, and I was just thinking about what to do, and I went to work for Balance. Did we talk about Balance?
God, no.
No.
Okay, so Balance was a
Ahead of their time.
Taiwanese, Chinese-owned company. And that's not really a good thing to talk about right now. We've got COVID going on and all this other crap. But it was two Taiwanese gentlemen, very, 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 very smart businessmen. One was named Robin Ho, and the other guy was named Ben Shaw. Robin Ho owned a very, very large bicycle manufacturing company in Taiwan called Marvel Cycles. He made mountain bikes for, Marin mountain bikes. There are so many brands. He made like 200,000 mountain bikes a year. And then Ben Shaw had an import company called Mingta, Mingta, Mingta. And so Ben Shaw would import Chinese-made product and sell it to Walmart. So like those chrome hubcaps that you can go into the auto department and buy,
Right.
Make your wheels look like you spent $3,000 on them. If
The
you
spinners?
turn them over and look on the back, it says Mingta Company, and Mingta Supply. And so he was huge with Walmart. And then the other guy, what was the company? Marvel Cycles. Those two guys joined forces and started Balance Cycles. The thing with Balance is the Marvel Cycles guy brought an assembly line to Santa Clarita, California, and we would assemble bikes there. We would bring all the parts in, put it on an assembly line, and we would say these bikes are assembled in the United States. Well, you can't really do that legally with customs because you're supposed to say made in Taiwan. So because Marvel Cycles was kind of like not a cheap factory, but it was our own factory, they would put the made in Taiwan decal over the top of the clear coat. So as soon as they came in, we'd pull that decal off. We put on an assembled in USA decal, and we started Balance. And I was the general manager there, and then raced for them. We hired Mike King, Matt Hayden, Greg Hill, John Purse, and Mike King went out and won the World Downhill Championship, the National Dual Slalom Championship on a Balance. And he also raced BMX for us. So all of his championships put Balance on the map. So from 96 to 2000, I did the whole Balance thing, which was really, really fun because we had some amazing riders, and we won a lot of races. They won a lot of races. Greg won a lot of races. John Purse was incredible. Mike King, he went on to ride for Factory GT, and now he is the track operator out at Rock Hill. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Well,
so he is,
don't.
yeah, he's a super guy. Takes care of, the whole Rock Hill event center.
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's time to experience the coolest store you've never been to. Magic Motorsports in Waterford. Discover over 40,000 square feet of savings. From motorcycle parts, accessories, and service to hoodies, coats, jackets, and sunglasses from... Hey, Metro Detroit, it's time to experience the coolest store you've never been to. Magic Motorsports in Waterford.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. You guys got to pay the bills.
No. There's shortcut buttons for everything, and one was tapped wrong.
Yeah.
So we did the whole Balance thing, and because Marvel Cycles was this huge manufacturing facility for so many brands, as soon as they started making bikes for Balance, nobody felt that like they were getting a fair deal. So all of a sudden, all these small companies started to leave Marvel, and they ended up only making Balance bikes. Well, that wasn't enough revenue for them to sustain the factory. So the factory closed because, Marin went somebody else, and everybody went everywhere else. And then Ben Shaw, being a businessman, he thought, you know what? Robin Ho was the guy's name. With Marvel, he left. So Ben Shaw figures, you know what? I'm out. So then Balance liquidated itself and it was done. So that's when I went and worked for Marzocchi and rode for Bryson Martin at Marzocchi, and spent a lot of time in Italy helping them develop mountain bike forks. And we did the Sinister brand front fork, raced, had a red line, rode Vet Pro for 2 or 3 more years. And behind me is one of my Vet Pro, national cups. Nice. And so I spent, the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years racing Vet Pro. At that time, it was 30 and over on a cruiser, and then it switched into 20 inch. So that's kind of like from after Diamondback, we went into Balance and then Marzocchi.
Okay. So did you have so you're riding for Redline and Vet Pro? Is that? Yeah,
I was able to get a Redline from Greg. I think Greg was working for Redline at the time, and so we were, working with him. He got me a bike, and so I was working for Marzocchi, and we took the race rig to all the races and promoted the Marzocchi Sinister fork, which actually Greg started, and it was a really good fork. It had a lot of good qualities. We sponsored some really good riders at the time. Christophe Levesque, Thomas Ayer, those guys I went out and worked with and was able to get them on the fork. Robert DeVilde was on the fork, so a lot of the non-American guys.
Yeah, some big names, some big European names there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of big names rode the fork, and I was very blessed in the fact that I got to work with these guys and, help them, with the product that we gave them. They helped me develop a better product. Okay. And that's really what a professional rider is hired to do. Yeah, you got guys that you're going to pay them this, that, and other thing that go out and they ride the bike they're given. But unless you're, giving feedback on the bike you're riding and trying to make it a better bike, you're not really doing your job. You know what? Yeah. And a good example is like, I just got a pair of DKs, Professional X DK bikes, with my new sponsor, BioLab, Peak Performance. And these bikes are more my style. The head angle is steeper. I love a steep head angle. I think that it helps you get out of the gate better because your front wheel is a little bit more tucked under. And so these kind of developments and input as a rider helps people like you guys, because you're probably riding bikes that have a 74-degree head angle and, 15.5-inch chainstay and
I have the same bikes you
whatever. But is that really, really what you guys need to be on for your skills and ability? So I've only spent a small amount of time on these new DKs, but I know that this DK, this 20-inch, turns. It's incredible what just a half a degree angle is. So if we talk about that right there, that's Jesus Haro. It's funny, his last name is Haro. He's not related to Bob Haro. But the BioLab thing is like this. It's a scientific molecular approach to rejuvenating your cells, which, as you know, as us being old guys or old people, our cells, we don't heal as quick. We don't rejuvenate. Sometimes we don't feel as good as we should feel after a really hard day of training. And I met these guys, Jaime and Jesus, that's Jaime on the left. Jesus is on the right of screen. That's the snack bar we slept in at Chandler in 1977. The very same building. The very same building. I had to go in there and look at the building and go, dude, seriously? We had to sleep on this floor? But anyways, these breathing treatments or these treatments are, and I know I'm not going to get it right, but from what I've read and what Jaime has told me, they are a form of stem cell research and stem cell enhancement. So when a woman gives birth, the placenta is usually discarded. Correct?
Correct.
True.
So
We'll defer to Melissa, Chris.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah, we'll just defer to Melissa. She's gonna know. Not because she just works.
She's a
'Cause you'll
medical.
never have
She
a
has a
placenta.
medical.
Well, yeah, I'll never. Yeah,
She has a medical background. She can talk
the
medical.
placentas that are discarded, or any of the amniotic fluid or anything left over from the afterbirth, is tested, approved, and it's being done all over the place.
Interesting.
So
Yep.
this breathing treatment is actually a form of the afterbirth and the amniotic, and I know I'm getting all the words wrong, but you breathe in and you can inject it, but it lasts about 3 months, this treatment. And LeBron James does it. He comes to this biolab. He has paid for 3 or 4 of the Lakers to come to biolab to get the same treatment. Now they ship the treatment out and they can do it themselves. So when I went in, the pictures of the breathing are actually, I'm trying to breathe in as much of the vapors from the fluid as I can. It's mixed with a sterile saline, and then it takes about 12 minutes to take it all in. And it's something that Jaime said that you can't anticipate what you should feel, because if you anticipate what you're going to feel, what you should feel, you're never going to feel it. So I think I'm in my second week now, and I know on my rides, I do the same ride every day. I know on my rides now I feel way better, and it could be the bike, and it could be the combination of the breathing treatments. So between the two things, I feel much better than I felt 3 weeks ago, if that makes any sense.
Interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
it's really exciting. And then, so that's the biolab science part of it. That's the building that they showed, and they do a lot of really good business. But the peak performance is where they link you to a doctor somewhere, wherever you're at, and coach you through physical therapy and everything if you get hurt, and help you to get back to the athlete prior to you getting hurt. If you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then, and then we tie in the whole pharma CBD thing, it's the whole program is, I feel, I've been chasing something like this for a while, is a living well kind of program to where, let's face it, we're getting old. If you're over 30, you're not old, but you're wishing that you had a little bit more than maybe you have. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Yes.
So do all these things combine together? The bio, the peak performance. You put these all together?
No, the biolab is its own entity. So it's a breathing treatment, like you saw. That I had a face mask on.
You're doing
That's his place here.
You're doing all these together, like one. They're all being done at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I haven't linked up. So there's the flyer. So if anybody had questions about what I just talked about, that flyer describes the process and exactly what's going on right here. It tells exactly what they're doing and how it's going to help you. Peak performance, I have to, in 2 months or so, I go back and I meet with a doctor, and we do blood samples, and we try to ascertain where I'm at currently and what I need to do to, get my levels up. And then I get another breathing treatment like every 3 months. So it's really exciting for me. And yeah, there you go. So you can read what it is. I've been dealing with lately like a sciatic nerve thing, which that scares me because I've been riding bikes forever, and the lower back, everything you do on a BMX bike goes through your lower back. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, it does.
Gate start, everything. And so I've really been surprised that I haven't experienced back pain sooner. And so since I've had this treatment 2-3 weeks ago, my back pain, my tennis elbow, from holding on to the grips, has seemed to dissipate.
So it's obviously
And-
addressing the inflammation in your body.
Correct. And that to me is very motivating because, when you get up and you got to go work, and then you got to come home, and then you got to figure out, okay, I got to motivate myself. And motivation is the wrong word to use, because if you lay around and you wait to get motivated to go do something, it may not ever happen. So the true word is discipline. So let's say, and that's why I try to ride every day at 4:30 or every day at 4:45, and it's the heat of the day. So no matter what, no matter how I feel, no matter what's going on, I get on my bike and I head out in 117-degree heat, because I think if I relied on motivation, I would never do it. So you have to rely on the discipline of the goal. You know what I mean? So that's and so this program is super exciting because I'm feeling better. I'm still only 2 weeks into it, and because it goes in your lungs and it has to, go out through your cells, and it takes a little bit of time before you actually experience the true benefits. And it's super exciting.
Oh. Well,
So-
you'll
Very
be
interesting.
curious to see over some time how you find it works for you.
Well, I think you'll see when I'm standing on the top of the box at some of the nationals.
Right.
So in Moto 3, we'll be able to follow up.
I'm going to be on the top of the 51X box, dude. If I have to knock people down, if I have to knock 4 people down, 1 in each corner, I'm going to be on the top of the box.
Okay, get her done.
Well,
That's awesome.
got to know this. You were talking a little bit about it. You're enjoying the DKs, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You and I have the same bikes, cruisers and 20-inch.
Really?
Yeah, we
You
do.
ride a double XL?
Yeah, I do. I am.
20-inch?
Yes, I am. Yep. And I got that same cruiser frame, and so I got this question to ask you. When you're out on the flat ground and you try to manual one of those things, is it not like the weirdest sensation, like manualing them on flat ground? Not as easy, but you get on the track and those things have like the best pep to manual and speed jump.
That's funny you say that.
Oops.
Because
Sorry.
that's a really great observation on your part. Because it's like you're on a track. Your bike's designed to be raced on a track with jumps, and that's what I really like about the DKs.
Yes.
I've always admired the riders that rode those bikes, that brand, because they were always really, really talented riders, and they could always do really amazing things on this brand. And so I picked these 2 bikes up on a Friday in Chandler at the BioLab, Sun and Spoke Bike Shop in Arizona, put them together for me, and they were perfect. All I did was, lower the bars on the cruiser, push the bars forward on the 20, and then I went out and raced them both Friday night at Chandler. And that track is incredible.
Right.
The jump. I wish I'd lived there and I could ride it more often. But I came out of the gate on the cruiser the first time, the first few practice gates, and the gear's a little chunky. I call hard gears chunky. I didn't know I was running a 4016 with 175s.
Oh.
I know, right?
Stout.
But once I got that thing going, it was the funnest bike I've ever ridden.
Yes.
And I hate cruisers. So I can't fall in love with that bike. I really got to like fall back onto my 20. And I finally got my 20 dialed, and I can't wait to go ride a Chris is laughing. I can't wait to go, because I put my 180s on the 20, and I changed the bars and put my whole box Jared Garcia bar set on it. And so I'm really looking forward to go riding that bike, because I think, like you said, that bike is a really nice track bike, and I can't wait to. I haven't really got used to it.
I'll be honest. When did I get mine, Melissa? Like last Christmas.
Yeah, it's going on like 2 years now, I guess.
A year and a half, I think. And it took me like a solid, longest time it ever took me to get used to a bike. Typically, I build them, I'm going to hate them or love them, but there was something about it. And then as soon as I put it underneath me on out on a racetrack, I'm like, man, these things are built to haul ass. Like, flat out, I'm going to quote the Brian Foster documentary, like, they're built to haul ass on a racetrack. Done. No and ifs or arguments. Like, but if I'll grab a street bike, I'll grab a whatever, insert, core S&M standard frame, and I go out manual for a long ways on them. But those bikes on flat ground, you're not. But man, can you haul ass on a racetrack with them? And it's they're fun. They feel great racing. Like, you put them underneath you, and just like you said, you did your first gate on them, and you knew immediately, like, front tire stays low. You didn't change anything, and they just come right out and go.
Yep. Yeah. I can't wait to race them.
Yeah, they're
You can't wait to race it or race him.
Who? I don't want to race Harry. I don't know. Hell no, I ain't racing him.
I'll take my chain off, dude. It'll be fun.
I might.
He's just determined to take that chain off.
I'm pretty,
they do
pretty sure I can beat. I might be able to beat you with if you took your chain off.
All right.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So you guys know about Ukaipa BMX out here in California, where they do the pump lap championships?
I saw. I think they had a pro race. Connor.
Yeah, they do a pro am. You take your chains off, and Connor Fields actually showed up.
Yeah,
and he won. He won the event, but that's the level that it's gotten to. So that's why I always just say the whole chain thing. I figure it's just it's funny that people are going to take their chains off. It's a bicycle race.
Yeah, the guy there, Dick Cheeseburger, beat him one lap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was some
which is
Jason
Morris Jason Morris.
Cyborg.
That guy has, I don't know where he like must have wings or something.
Yeah. He is not looking forward to racing that guy anytime soon. Soon as he ages up, I'm gonna be like, is it my?
If I hole shot him, I'm gonna cut him off out of the game.
I think it'll just piss him off, but I'll be like, man, I hope I can get out of here in this age class, because he's in here now. I think he's 36, 40 right now, and I'm not looking when he ages up.
Excuse me.
All right. We have not stuck to the script at all.
No,
Chris.
we're all over the map here,
but it's all right.
Hey, it's cool.
Now, hey, here's what you did. You left us with this teaser on the last show, all right? And I don't know if you remember this or not, but you started talking right at the end of the show. You were talking about the unsponsored, sponsored wrong track. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. Covina BMX.
Okay, but we had to go, and you never got to finish this story. How like you hint, it was a great teaser, by the way, like unplanned, just for those that are watching, totally unplanned, not scripted. But you were like, hey, next time you gotta remind me about how there was this unsponsored thing. I didn't do the right thing, or however your teaser. It was amazing, but. I gotta know. We gotta know. What was that?
Okay, so there was a track that was built in Covina, and once they got it established, they didn't want any sponsored riders coming in. So it was basically built for the locals in the area. that didn't have the expensive bikes, that weren't able to get discounts. Like for me, I was on JMC, and I was able to go buy parts at 10% off, and I had a really trick Jim Melton prepared JMC, and we were early into the freewheels and the handbrakes, and so those kind of bikes were just kind of hitting the surface in BMX, freewheels with handbrakes. Everybody else had coaster brakes. So you showed up at this track in Covina, and you're looking around, everybody's running coaster brakes, and you got this 22-pound, factory race bike that clicks when you don't pedal, and
Right.
So you couldn't, clicks when you don't pedal. They can hear you coming. I think it's horrible that you got this really loud cassette and you're sneaking up on somebody in a corner and they hear you coming. You can't take them out.
That's
It's
how
not
mine
fair.
is. Mine's
So I always lube up my freewheels so nobody can hear me, and then I show up, take them out. So this track you couldn't race if you had a sponsor, and so I would always go out and watch because I had so many friends that and a lot of the factory JMC team. Very notable riders, John Begin, Ronnie West, Steve West, Cooper, Clint Miller, Bill Harry, Dennis Foster. All these guys came from this track, Covina track, and became factory JMC riders. So I showed up one day and I want to race, but I can't. So I find this guy, John Beckel. And so I put he had put his uniform on, I put his helmet on, I put his goggles on, I grab his bike and I go race a moto, and I win the moto, and then I run out to the parking lot and I take all his stuff off, and then he gets the trophy.
Oh, nice. Ghost Rider.
He Ghost Ride the whip.
So I only did that once. But there was also a very famous BMX family called the Babakidises, who I think there was 5 brothers and a sister named Debbie, and when they showed up, there was like a Babakidis in every class, and all that entire family would always leave with like first place trophies from this track.
What was the ones from Michigan? They had like 13 kids.
Oh.
But like 4 of them went pro. They were from Grand Rapids. Somebody help us out in the chat. Sorry, Harry.
Yeah.
But there was
the
we had
girls. The girls.
the
were
girl. Yeah, we had the
pros.
same family here.
Edwards?
No,
No.
that was Deanna.
This was a few years ago.
But there was
Cortman.
Cortman. Yeah, they had like. Honestly, I don't think I'm exaggerating with like 13 or something. It was insane. But the boy went single A pro. The girls went. I think 2 or 3 of them went pro, and they'll still show up and. Like do really, really good. So you'd go out to the west side of the state here in Michigan, and you're like, oh, well, Cortmans are just gonna clean up.
Just gonna clean up.
So do you guys know the whole brother scenario in BMX?
The what?
Brother scenario, that the younger brother is always more successful than the older brother in the sport.
No,
Andersons, King, Pattersons, and the list goes on. That younger brother always seems, because he's always been chasing his older brother for all those years in the sport. When he finally gets to pro, he is so good that he, just kills it.
I hadn't heard that before, but now that you're saying that, yeah.
It's a good. It's a good thing that I set the bar really low, and my brother never wanted to go chasing.
So you guys are brothers or what?
No, not him. My brother. Well, he's my brother from another mother that I never knew. But
So your dad had fun.
Yeah, he was a randy guy.
Not like that.
But no, my little brother, his entire BMX, and this is a little. Most people don't know that. One,
I know we're getting off topic.
I even have a little brother, but my little brother's BMX career was. God, I think it was 2 races at Richfield Park BMX in Davison, Michigan, and he manualed down a crosswalk and looped off his Haro Group 1C.
Yeah, Group
and
1C.
Busted his tailbone, and he was done. And that all happened in 18 weeks.
Really, that quick?
Yeah, he's like.
Now
I remember
see,
when he ate shit. I'm sorry, Chris, but he ate it off his bike, and I looked over, and we were like, just like everybody did back in the day. You rode your neighborhood,
Right.
And I look over as he fell.
All busted.
He was done. He's done.
I can't believe you're laughing at your brother's. That's horrible.
Dude, this is the same guy that when I dislocated my shoulder on a no-footed can at the same track that I said he did 2 races at. So he's like, hey, go out there and do that no-footed, because he was trying to impress this chick that he was seeing. So he's like, go out there and do a no-footed can. And I'm like,
he's going to check my brother out.
I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, it ain't. And this is back like early 2000s. Like the racetrack jumps weren't that lipped off, And I'm like, all right. So I did, and I missed my pedals, and I fell, and it went right over the handlebars, and I separated my left shoulder.
Oh gosh.
And this dude, I'm like, I don't think it's right, little bro. And he's like, you're fine. We got to go to Pizza Hut. All right. So we go to Pizza Hut, and I'm like, little brother, man. I mean, I couldn't even drive. I'm sorry. It was my right, because I couldn't shift my car because I had a stick shift. And I'm like, dude, I can't. And he's like, it's cool, man. Well, I'll just have her drive your car. And I'm like, I don't even know her, and this is a brand new car. And he's like, no, it's cool. So she drives my car and just grinding the shit out of the gears. We get to the pizza place, which it's Pizza Hut. Everybody knows it there. And he's like, you want some pizza? I'm like, yeah, dude. And he's like, here you go. And he keeps doing this, and I'm like, dude, something ain't right. Shit ain't going up the right way. So I don't have a problem laughing at him when he busted his ass manualing off his bike.
Because he's giving you a hard time, and you're actually hurt.
My God, the next day I woke up, and I remember trying to call into work, and I had to slide out of bed because I couldn't move my arm. And we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have Siri. We didn't have, nothing. I had a phone that I had to pick up, and it was just in front of rotary dialing. So I had to pick the phone up and call into work. I had to dial the number and be like, yeah, I think I did something wrong. And then I go to the doctor.
I was going to say, did you end up at the doctor sooner?
Yeah, and they're like, dude, just go. You got to go to the hospital. And they put these electrical things on, and
sheesh.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure I still have shoulder issues from that.
It's never been the same since.
Oh, anyway, so that's why I can laugh at my little brother.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh.
Sorry to hijack that.
All right, so can I throw my brother in real quick?
Did he ride ever?
My brother rode, yeah. Is
he older or younger?
He's younger than I am, but he rode first. He raced first, and it got to where I was sitting there, watching him race and, cheering for him and stuff. I'm like, I should probably try doing this. It looks fun.
But you're older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's he's like roughly a year and a half younger than I am. So he was racing first, and he was actually doing really well. I mean, he was a really good rider, way better than I am. I mean, he was racing expert and all that stuff, like 13, 14, 15 expert back in the day. I mean, that was rough back then. That was stacked. I mean, he raced Solon Foster and Mark Davis and.
Oh, okay. So those are in here in Michigan. They're Sloan is a badass.
Yeah, everybody knows him. But
Foster for sure.
Yeah, he used to race all those guys, and he did really well. But then he got away from it, and I just kept doing it, and I'm back doing it now. But I wouldn't. We're hijacking Harry's show here. So anyway,
no, we're not. We're talking about BMX.
I know, but
we're talking about your guys. We're talking about your guys' BMX. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Melissa's BMX. Let's talk about Melissa. Let's get her in the racing.
I had to give my brother a little shout out. I haven't given him a shout out on here before. So, all right. So, Melissa, what's up?
Nothing. No racing.
No racing.
She won't race.
Nope.
She's always in the driver's seat.
Always. I think what she's
why I'm always in the driver's
What she's secretly doing is taking pictures of me sleeping.
I do have many pictures of me sleeping.
You're never driving. The poor lady has to take you to all these races.
Well, I drive home.
I drive home.
No.
I think Melissa's.
Well, okay. I could see maybe she drives you to the race. You race. You have a really good day, except the day you crash and fell on your head. but she might be taking part in some adult beverages throughout the day.
No, I
and
haven't.
So you
I need to start doing
reward
that.
her by driving her home.
No, I haven't started that. I need to.
I'm going to say this. I am extremely grateful for the tour bus driver. Wait, no. What did your dad call you the other day? You were the truck. No, you're the team truck driver. That's
Yep.
what.
Team driver.
Her dad now is he's officially on the team as Mach 1 because that's Melissa's last name, Mach. And so he's Mach 1. But yeah, she is the truck driver for us. Thank God, because when I ate shit down there in Toledo, everybody pitched in, loaded the trailer up, and she got me to the hospital.
Got you
Thank
on the
God,
way.
man. And man, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Well,
Do we need to
Yeah.
do?
Sean,
really
Sean
looked like a
says.
good person.
Sean says that I'm in the driver's seat because Justin's been laying around lately.
yeah, it's
So
Yeah.
one point, and not necessarily to Justin's defense, but I have a tendency to get car sick and have some self-admitted control issues. So sometimes driving is just better if I'm doing it.
I mean, until we can get that CBD,
I might have to
made-
start the THC.
made to, well, if you're not, man,
I'm
I'll
just
drive.
saying.
I'll drive. But you do a great job. And here's the thing.
Do we need to do a
on,
disclaimer or something?
on any team, and
Do as I
Harry.
say, not as I do.
Yes, and Harry will know this. There's always somebody kind of behind the scene that doesn't get enough credit. That always makes sure that there's drinks, there's snacks, there's Band-Aids.
Or tourniquet.
Or tourniquets. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Harry.
Yep.
That is Melissa, and we
thank
anybody
you.
that's involved with our group, or even hangs out around us, they know that she is the one that takes care of all that for us. So,
Yep, she,
Good for you.
She makes sure the pit's taken care of.
yep. Now
Less man by that.
we do have a few shout outs real quick in the chat.
Excuse me.
Real quick, I want to give some shout-outs. Jeff Whalen, he used to race back in the day. Jeff, thanks for joining the show. We appreciate it. Sean,
Hey, Jeff.
he wanted to say...
Your fellow groundskeeper.
Yeah, Sean is a fellow groundskeeper because what that term means is we like to take dirt samples.
I swear to
Sean,
God, in 50 years, I've never heard that term, groundskeeper.
well,
It's kind of an ATB coined term.
it
then.
is. So, hey, if you could real fast, just give Sean Kingsland a shout-out, Harry.
John King, what's up, man?
Thank you.
Is he the guy that came up with groundskeeper?
Yeah, I
I think his wife did.
his wife did.
His wife.
Because
Is it okay if I use your trademarked, crashing term?
Yeah, just give All Things BMX show a plug with it.
I had a really good weekend, but I had to become a groundskeeper, in the final race of the day.
Yeah.
Shout out
exactly.
ATB.
Right on, dude. That's funny.
So just thanks you guys for joining us. Are there any questions?
Yeah, T-Bone actually has,
Okay,
I
good.
think, an
right.
interesting question. So he would like me to ask Harry to compare old school tracks to the new school tracks.
I remember that.
And
Who's this?
This is Brian Wilson, T-Bone,
He's a
one of our
T-Bone
big
BMX
sponsor.
sponsors.
he
and I
made.
bet-
He's actually he made the jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and if you want your
so-
own custom jerseys while Harry's thinking of his story, make sure you hit up T-Boom.
But I haven't finished my question yet.
Shut up. I'm sorry, honey.
So the caveat to that is he was kind of putting Connor Fields, how would he do back then versus today?
Ooh, good question though.
Well, as much as us old guys want to say our day was better and we were better than today's guys, Connor Fields is those guys are insane. What they do with their training and the box jumps and everything they can do and how quickly they can accelerate a bike. It doesn't matter what's in front of those guys. That's the only thing that's changed. The gate holds 8 riders. It drops pretty much at the same time every time. And then there's a race to the first turn. That part of the sport hasn't changed. maybe the jumps are a little bigger now, a little more, I wouldn't say technical, because as you ride them, you adapt to them, but these guys are machines. Connor Fields and all the guys that race on the European circuit. I watched them. I watched some of the Supercross Elite races, and I learned so much from how they accelerate their bike off the gate, that they pedal. I mean, if you watch these guys, they pedal over these huge triple step ups like they're not even there. So back in my day, like the day in the early 80s or whatever, we have one roller on a first jump. These guys would go so fast because that little jump, they wouldn't even see it or feel it. They would just pedal right over it. So I think that, today's riders are much better athletes than we were back in our day. And that's, for me, is the fun of staying in the sport, is learning the new school start. Because I got a sprint block, and learning how to, back the bike up before you go forward, which is all, technique and leverage, but it's still a new school start. It's not, hips first. It's totally different. And how you ride the bike and how the bike's set up, and like we were talking about the DKs, all these bikes have evolved for the current tracks today. They would still work brilliantly, way better than my little 18-inch turbo bike on a little tiny track. But that tells you how the bikes got longer. The rear ends got longer, the front ends got longer. You got more rider area, and that's because the jumps are much bigger and you're going a lot faster.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say that the old school tracks, they had fewer jumps in each straightaway, where today's track seems to have more jumps, obstacles in the straightaways versus old school?
Yeah, back in the day, we had like maybe one or two rollers on the first straightaway, and you come out of the corner. Like a really good example, there's a ESPN video going around.
I got that.
That came, and it shows where we did 2 laps. We had to do 2 laps. And that's the thing that I think current elite racing needs to add. I think the races are too short for these guys. I think that let's put some athleticism into a multiple lap, design the track. So when they come out of the first turn, they do everything, and then they kind of migrate back into the first turn, and they have to do the whole thing again.
Kind of like a motorcycle race.
Yeah, just because it happens so quick, and they make it look so easy. And I think there's riders out there who are more physically fit than the riders that are currently, kind of winning. You know what I mean? So you got guys who would really enjoy a longer lap. So that Burbank race, it was a 2-lap race, and I loved long tracks. And so I came out of lane 8. I sat in behind Clint Miller. I kind of waited, and then I accelerated by Clint. But I got up to Greg, and then I tried to pass Greg down the last straightaway, but I just ran out of time. But I wasn't tired. You know what I mean? We could have done another lap, and I know I would have got Greg. But that's not – and I think that's where the sport, for the elite guys that get paid a lot of money, they probably need to try and do that, maybe.
Okay.
And that may lend it more to television as well, versus a 30, 40-second lap to a minute or 2 lap.
Exactly. And you can't, it's really hard to talk about it. Like the ESPN series, which that race was the final race in the ESPN series race. We would race 3 motos, 2 semis, and 3 mains.
Wow.
So we were dog-dig tired by the time we got to the main events, but that's where you had to be fresh, you had to be fit, and so that day we had to do 2 laps, and I was, I had a friend of mine, Alan Lane, who taught me how to train, and how to suffer, how to hurt, and really, because he was a road bike guy, so his guidance really showed me how I really needed to train in order to be a pro. And so we were like, I was just sitting on his wheel, as we're going down the back straightaway and waiting. I just ran out of time. But to me, that's fun.
really
That's why I love motocross, because motocross is, you kind of like, you got so much time and you just kind of ride your lap and you sit there and because you do your thing and you just kind of wait it out. You know, the guy's going to get tired. If you're fit, that guy in front of you is going to get tired. And that's why Eli Tomac is so good. He just never gets tired. Everybody else just falls off pace. Too bad he's not on a Honda.
Do you need to pay a bill, Justin?
I gotta go pay a bill real quick after I vomit after hearing that.
What's that? What?
I'm a big look.
Oh, here
Everybody
here
knows.
We go. Here we go.
Come on, don't hold back on me.
Melissa's a big Ken Rotzkin fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so why is he not racing the outdoors?
He's scared of
I
COVID.
haven't asked him.
I don't know.
Thank you. He's scared. He is flat scared.
He's a German. He ain't afraid of shit.
Oh, no, she's getting fired up.
He's afraid of Tomac.
My favorite rider
Oh, wow.
is just my favorite rider is now racing down at South Carolina on the BMX track, which I
Absolutely. Isn't that the coolest thing?
We
yeah.
got to give
Well,
him
now
a
wait,
shout
but
out.
he's
We gotta tell-
retired.
Well,
No,
we
but-
need to tell
yeah,
folks
how
who we're
cool.
talking about.
So he's taking the easy street.
If you don't know who we're talking about right
Well,
now,
maybe they're-
I'll
Chad
fucking
Reed.
stab your goddamn
I know
mouth.
who you're talking about. Easy, son.
Okay,
easy,
I'm sorry,
easy.
I'm sorry.
Easy. No, just.
Oh, you guys are passionate about your motocross. I
folks
love
out
it.
Just-
there know we're
when it-
talking
hey,
about
love
Chad
it.
Reed.
When you talk about Chad Reed, you better understand. It's like Fergie and Jesus joining on a duet. The man is a god.
I like me some Chad Reed, man. The dude is cool. For sure, for sure.
For the sake of setting to my left, viewers right, you better. Chad Reed.
No, I like Chad Reed.
Here's the thing about Chad Reed. So, the last Supercross race.
Here we go.
Go
All
ahead.
right,
Harry.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You just crossed your arms. Look.
Yeah,
Look how serious he
did,
is.
for sure.
Right.
He was like, "All right, we're
crossed his arm.
knuckling in here."
Okay, so the guy takes third at the Silverdome, or not? Jesus, Ford Field.
Ford Field.
And
I saw him race
so they're
at
like,
the Silverdome,
this is
actually.
2 years ago, Supercross, and they're like, hey, actually Tomac, I think he had won. So like Tomac went, no, I think he might have been second, but regardless, I don't follow him, but I love his dad, I love everything he's done for BMX and all that, but like Chad Reed's a dude. But then they call up Chad Reed, and he takes like third, and he's like, because this is not on the feed. This is not on what you watch on TV. This is when you're sitting in the stadium, right? So, the in-house announcer is like, yeah, here's Chad Reed. Dude, I mean, it just erupted. And at that moment, I knew, like, this guy, and he's been the guy I've rooted for years. And it was long before he was the old guy in the sport, but just Chad Reed. He came to America with his bride.
He's got an awesome story.
It's just
Ellie.
it's just an amazing story. Like he ain't had a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out, and he just comes over here. And who he reminds me of is God, I'm gonna forget their last name.
Tie it
They're-
back to BMX now.
They're brothers. It's Jet and
Lawrence.
Thank you. They if you guys don't know this story, go look it up.
Yep.
So
Yep.
their family has sold everything and invested it all into motocross and come over. Melissa, this is the Jet story when we came back from race. It's a terrible thing. I'll share it with Harry in the Zoom afterwards, but it is not, no. But anyway, that family, it's it's nuts because they got two brothers and they just literally up and sold everything, moved to the United States, chased around, motocross, supercross. And that's Chad Reed. But for me, Chad Reed was the first person that
He was the first
did
guy
that,
doing that, right, yeah.
He just came over here on a fucking whim and he brings his old lady over here and he's going to do this thing. And I'm like, who?
Yeah.
And I'm at a point in my life when I started following it as a fan. I'm like, who does that?
Well, shoot,
You know
at
what I
one
mean?
point he had his own team.
No, it was way before that.
I know, way back.
You
But
do that. You
whole
do
thing.
that when you believe in your skills.
Yes.
Your support system.
Yes.
And he brought his wife with him, and they trusted each other on their goal path. So, do you ever watch Whiskey Throttle?
So here's a
is
funny
that?
thing about Whiskey Throttle.
Whiskey Throttle, Troy Lee,
Amazing,
with
amazing.
Grant Langston, and the other guy. But they just did a Chad Reed 3.5-hour podcast
They did.
2 days ago.
Oh, we got to check
Yeah,
that
yeah.
out.
I may have. I'm not gonna say I've watched it twice,
Okay.
but I might have watched it
1.5 times.
7.9. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I got halfway through it today.
Our show, which is funny because I don't watch it all the time. I don't listen to it all the time. But our show, which look, we're not on that level, but I've got friends that cross pollinate between the sports, and they're like, what you guys do is very similar over there, and that's why I don't want to watch it. I'd listen to it because I don't want to,
Right. Yeah. I
But
know what you mean.
it's so cool, and it's raw.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to check out Whiskey Throttle.
Whiskey Throttle.
I'll check
Whiskey
it out.
Throttle. It's done from the Troy Lee building in Corona or Riverside or something. They may not have done the Chad Reed version. They probably did it in Utah when they couldn't. We were all like isolated and they couldn't leave. It looked like a back set. But if you really, and Ryan Hughes on there is really good. Ricky Carmichael. There's some great
they're all
interviews on there that you really. And so Chad Reed is talking about his history and why he came and how he did it and who supported him. And I'm also a Chad Reed fan. So, even though, I was really a Chad Reed when he rode Honda and when he passed James Stewart in the corner at Anaheim. I was at that race with my daughter. That was my first Supercross I took my daughter to. And she shit a brick. She never seen a Supercross race. And I'm going, you got to watch this. This guy, I'm going, he's going to get him in this last corner. And he just goes in and he pimps Bubba Stewart. And he goes on to win the main event. And she was like jumping up and down, screaming and yelling. And she's like 14 or whatever. And that's how people become fans, you know?
It's massive, man.
Instant
Great.
Chad Reed fan, right? Instant Chad Reed fan.
Exactly. The old guy.
Melissa likes Ken because why? Melissa?
He crosses his arms again.
Because he's a good
I love
rider.
it.
No.
No, you think
You know why.
Come on.
Tell him. No secrets here. It's all family.
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Because he showed up to a press conference
That's not the only
in the
reason. That was
suit?
just the
in the
start
suit,
of
and
it.
she's like,
His first year on Honda, he showed up like in an
a suit.
NSX, fully decked out.
Yeah.
And I really thought that was really cool because that set a tone.
I did too, because at that time I had to wear the same kind of stuff to work. But she's like,
Well, so her opinion was much more different than the professional opinion.
Well, then he went out and he like whips ass, and the dude had his arm ripped off and then his hand ripped off, And I'm like, hey, this is this dude's story. And she's like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah, he's pretty much a badass.
Yeah.
Like he is.
he is? I mean, you
Like,
can't
who-
say he's
who got
And
it?
German.
You can't argue
yes.
with him. He's a good rider for darn sure.
All right, let's do this commercial. Jesus Christ. We're going to be right back.
You guys are great.
Heavy Pedals BMX Zine. Voted number one. Heavy Pedals BMX Zine. Voted number one BMX zine in the world by Michigan BMX Podcast Show viewers and listeners. Get your copy now. Heavy Pedals is sold locally at Solon Bicycles, Ray's MTB, Reggie's Bike Shop, and globally at heavypedals.com. Make sure you get over to our Facebook page, give us a like and a share, and while you're at it, head on over to our Instagram page at Heavy Pedals BMX.
I want the truth! reveal the truth.
All right.
Welcome back.
There it is
to-
again, and it just keeps going back to that screen. I don't know why. We'll figure it out. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to Supercross Talk here on the
We
You know, I think it's really cool because I'm kind of getting to know you guys a little bit, and you know what you guys do, and what your passions are, and who drives the bus, and who's the truck driver, who's Mach 1, and all this kind of stuff. I think it's
shout out to her dad. Shout out to Melissa's dad, Mach 1.
That was my nickname in the 2nd grade. I was a Pink Panther. Shout out to my teacher, Mr. Sparrow. I remember this. And he had nicknames for everybody, and mine was Mach 1. And I spent my entire adolescence explaining to people that no, I wasn't that fast.
But your last name was
Mach. That's like trying to explain to people that you don't have a helicopter.
I can relate to that, Chris.
All right.
because you don't have a helicopter.
You have several.
All right. Anyways, so let's see here. Where are we headed to next? Moving right along.
What Chris
Are we
has.
going back to this?
What Chris has is
Oh,
he
gosh.
has this right here.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. No, here I gotta remove that.
Quit
What are
drawing
you
things on the
doing?
screen.
He's got his own G. What is that thing? The
That's a
golf.
jet.
Yeah, he's got a golf stream.
What?
Seriously?
Now I'm graduating from one to the other. Okay.
Well, you had a private jet before, and then we went to helicopters. But
Choppa.
Hop in that thing. Come get me. I will,
Yeah, I know. Right. Sure.
there's an airport right here in Havasu.
Yeah, there's one right down the road here too.
That's right.
yeah, that's where your hangar is. He doesn't really. Just for those that
No, but
are
it
joining
sure-
this evening,
it sure
he
gets a
doesn't.
lot of-
Here's the best thing: is
I can't
when we're hanging out in our tent,
Yummy.
and we're not talking about the CBD that Harry is pushing.
Watermelon.
It's people come up and they're like,
Non-THC.
yeah, non-THC. They'll come up and be like, "Hey, Chris, you gonna take my kid for a ride?" And your chopper. Chris, like, I don't have a goddamn helicopter.
Say, quit asking me about that.
Anyway.
but it
Randall says Chris knows where it is.
Thanks,
anyway.
Randall. Oh, dude.
Right, why don't you ask him that question?
All right,
because
so-
this is, I think, the second question that we've managed to make it to in the script.
Funniest thing. All right, so here's one of our questions: is what would you say is your biggest moment? Let's say like in the 2000s, as far as BMX racing, what would be one of your like favorite moments from
Yeah.
the 2000s?
In the 2000 to 2000 and now.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, what would be
In
like
the last
your,
20
that
years,
RLC
what was
race.
your best
That
moment?
plate I gave you guys.
Really?
Yeah. That RLC main event.
Wow.
And here's why. So, in motocross, because I don't want to keep reverting back to that, but in motocross, when you lead a series or you do whatever, you get a red plate, right?
correct? Yep.
And so I always wanted to have a red number 1 on my bike. And so my ex Patty and I put the picture of a number 1 red plate on the refrigerator, and for the entire year, and I looked at it every day when I can, if I turn the screen around, you'll see I got 2 or 3 of the ABA issued ROC plates that they give you when you win. And then my Graham's trophy is sitting there and stuff. But to me, that was the best race ever. If you were to watch it on the ABA YouTube or whatever, it was like a perfect lap.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
that was-
probably, and then, when I finished, she came running down and it was something that we worked really hard together to get.
Okay.
And
So
So,
the having that on the refrigerator, that was like motivation every day. See that, this is the
Every
goal,
day.
this is the purpose why we're doing this. Okay.
every day. And then, you drive 21 hours from California to Tulsa, and, that's a lot of time to formulate a plan in your head and how you're supposed to feel when you get in the gate. And, And what was really, really cool is I am a huge Rocky fan. Anything that Sylvester Stallone has done, I've watched it, 10 times. And so that weekend, and at the Grands, it's a very, very, very taxing event if you've ever been there. And so, like, my cruiser practice was at 9:45 in the morning on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. And then my 20-inch practice wasn't until 9:45 or 10:15 that night.
Oh my God.
So we had a lot of time to kill, and we had to fit Thanksgiving into this day. So we did Thanksgiving, and then we went and we watched. I love that look there. So we fit Thanksgiving in, and then we went and saw the new movie Creed.
He makes it sound so fun.
I mean, you make it fun because you understand the limitations that you have. You can't do truly what you want to do when you want to do it, right? You got to go practice. You got to have Thanksgiving, and then you got to go back and practice. And then you got to show up at 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday and race this entire day of ROC. Your main event's not going to be until late in the evening, and then you got to show up on Saturday, and you got to do it all again, and you got to show up on Sunday. So the best thing that anybody can do when they go to the Grands is do nothing for 11 days. Stay off your legs, don't train, don't ride your bike, and show up with all this energy because you're going to use it all up and travel to get there, plus racing. So we went and saw this movie, Creed.
Sounds like good advice, yeah.
So we saw this movie, and the best scene, if you've ever seen the movie, is Sylvester Stallone is talking to Baby Creed. You're not supposed to call him that, it'll hit you. Can't call him Baby Creed. He doesn't like it. So he's put Baby Creed in front of a mirror, and he goes, that's your only competition, is your reflection in the mirror. That's who you're competing against. So the whole time I'm in staging, because I saw the movie the night before, so it's very clear in my head. So as I'm in staging and I get my lanes and I'm rolling up the back of the hill, I got my head down on my handlebars, and I'm just visualizing those words that Sylvester told Baby Creed. It's just you. You're racing you. You're not racing anybody else. And I got the most perfect start, and it was just the clearest I've ever felt in a gate, and the easiest it was ever to actually win a race. I pulled away by 15 bike lengths or something. I can't remember. But the best part was at the end, I got the plate, and Patty came down, and we celebrated everything that we worked for a year, and it was pretty epic. So that has to be
an awesome story.
Yeah.
Hang on. I think I got what you're hang on. Is this it? Right here.
All right, Donnie, get into your stance.
Yeah, right here. This is it.
Small target.
Let's watch this.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. If pause it real quick.
Yeah, I got it. I will.
Pause it.
I will. Here it is. Yes.
If every rider, and this is whenever I work with a rider, this is what I try to teach them. If the rider races the gate and the track and doesn't worry about the 7 other riders, he will have his best lap ever. And this scene puts that all into perspective. So yeah, go ahead. This is great.
All right, let's watch this.
All right, Donnie, get into your stance. Make a small target. Turn sideways. Okay. You see this guy here staring back at you? Yeah. That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life. Okay? You throw a jab in the jaw. All right, one to the gut. Now, every time you punch this guy, what's he doing?
He's throwing one back at me.
That's right. So either you block it, slip it, or get out of the way. So. I'll leave you two alone for a while. Good luck.
Isn't that great?
Yes. It's
That is great. That is so pure BMX focus that if everybody can isolate themselves and pull themselves into, you know, a sword or a spear or the point of a pin or whatever it is, those thoughts zero yourself in and you close everything out and you'll have your best lap of your life.
So
That's
that day. That was great.
awesome stuff right there.
yeah. Now we got to jump into a few things we do for every show, and I already know we're gonna have Moto 3. It's given, my man. We're gonna have Moto 3, man. So what we got to do is we have to slide down to the Jeremy Ames voicemail. And you remember this from the last time you were on?
Who's that?
The Jeremy Ames voicemail segment.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it was
No,
Friday.
it was Friday. He didn't
Yeah, it was
have
a
one.
Friday
All
night.
right,
There
so
was no voicemail.
on our Wednesday shows, we always have a Jeremy Ames voicemail segment, and at this point, we're gonna give this disclaimer, but it's already happened. There could be offensive language. So Jeremy's a guy that Harry, I'll never give him your phone number. Unless you tell me to, because the guy leaves some of the funniest voicemails. He'll call you, and if you answer, you're like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "I didn't want you to answer." You're like, "Well, F off then, dude." But anyway, he's always. Last week, I thought it was a real voicemail for like the first part of our segment, and I was about ready to dump from the Jeremy Ames voicemail thing, because I thought it was a real voicemail they left me, but it wasn't. But it's just what he does, and this is this week's Jeremy Ames voicemail segment. Which, if anybody wants to sponsor this segment.
Let us know.
Let us know.
All things BMX show
You know
at
who?
gmail.com.
You know who should sponsor it? Is BML Trophy.
Oh, there you go.
They totally should sponsor this
Oh,
segment.
being that they're from the same area.
Yeah, totally
Yeah,
should.
they're from the Traverse City area.
Yeah, they should. All right, here we go.
Hey Justin, it's Hannah. I just want to let you know that Jimmy's going off the deep end, and I don't know what's going on, but he's just walking around naked in the forest trying to collect his marbles, actual marbles. He went and threw them out like golf balls or something. But about these voicemails, but it's insane to him because he's freaking out about them. He doesn't know what to do anymore, and now he's trying to get it involved in our relationship, and he's saying it's more important than the baby. So I don't know what you're doing, what your plan is. Are you trying to sabotage us? Do you not like me? Does Melissa even like me? I don't know, but you need to control yourself with Jeremy because he's not doing okay. All right, I'll see you later, you piece of trash.
So
That really was Hayana.
that was really his girlfriend who's pregnant with a kid, and so
His kid?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So, when I get the voicemails, I don't. He'll call, and I see my phone, and I'm like, nope, not gonna take it, and I send it to voicemail, and then I was like, I send it to voicemail, and all of a sudden, if you have an Apple phone, you'll know what I mean. It does like the voice to text thing, right?
Yeah, it transcribes,
Yeah.
and it never makes any sense.
None at all. But
Right.
what it did was,
That's Siri's fault, by the way.
yes, it said, it said, hey, it did transcribe it correctly. It said, hey, this is Hayana, and that's his
That's her
soon
name.
to be
name.
wife's name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the.
What the heck?
So, and again, I try not to listen to voicemails just because that way it's like we all hear it at the same time. So I start reading it, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I click on the thing, and I hear it's her.
Not him making
Not
a funny
him.
voice. It's not a funny voice. It's her.
And I listen to it, and all I hear is, hey, this is Hannah. Jeremy's lost his marbles. I'm like, done.
He's actually out looking for
So, Jeremy, you sly son of a bitch, you brought your old lady into the whole game. Kudos for you.
Stepping it up, man.
Billy says, for
We
you.
call this guy?
Yeah, he's probably one of my, next to Chris and 15 other people, he's probably one of my closest best friends.
We should call him right now.
Oh, he's probably working.
Fuck.
Or
Can I patch this through?
He could be at work.
He might
Now's
be
not
working.
the
The fuck, he ain't at work, is he? Do you think?
Yeah.
He's at work. Have him take a cigarette break. Everybody gets a cigarette break.
Well, he's a vapor.
He's a vapor.
Let's.
You get a vape break.
We can try. Let's try. I don't have the shit set
We'll
up.
call him out. We'll mess with him.
Yeah, I don't have the shit set up to exactly put it through the board anymore.
You want to move on with the news while you're doing that?
No, we're calling him now.
Hey, the sound man where he'd come there and do that for you.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll double your pay.
Hello.
Jeremy Ames.
Hey.
You're
What's good?
you're live on the All Things BMX show.
Harry Leary wanted to say something to you.
Oh, let's hear it.
Dude, you find your fucking marbles or what?
Yeah.
Did you find your marbles?
Did you find your marbles? Your wife said you were out, you lost your marbles, and you were actually out in the forest looking for them.
Oh, shit.
He can't hear anything that you're
Okay,
saying.
hang on. I have to figure out. Jeremy, hang on.
Here,
Which is my headphones?
These on it?
No, this one? This one is. Okay. Okay, hang on. I have to.
Here, I'll
Jesus.
do it.
Here's the shit show we're running. All right, so, Jeremy, you there?
Yeah,
Hey, Jeremy, it's Harry. How are you?
I'm good.
There we go.
Hey, man. So your wife left a voicemail, said you lost your marbles, and you were actually out in the forest looking for them. How'd that go for you?
I never found him. I ended up getting picked up by the cops.
Oh, damn. So how did you get off? What did you tell them before they 5150'd you?
Oh, I immediately snitched on everyone I knew.
Oh, cool. You didn't snitch on these guys in the show, right? Because they're really cool. You left them alone, right?
Oh, definitely. For a few weeks, it'll be good.
Cool. So, did we disturb you at work or what?
You did not. I am at home right now.
Oh, cool. So we can talk for a while. How's your wife?
Oh, she's good. She's good.
Super pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show says you're about to, be with child. Not you, but your wife.
Right. Yeah, right now I got her out mowing the lawn.
You're a good man, dude. And it's dark and there's snakes and alligators out, right? And you got your pregnant wife out mowing the lawn.
She's got a vest on.
Oh, shit.
A neon green vest or what?
I think so. It's pretty bright.
I'm sorry.
It's pretty bright. I heard that you leave some very, very inspirational, confusing, thoughtful, have to think about it for a minute kind of voicemails.
Yeah, I try to.
I feel like it's worse if you think about it too long.
Right. I'm running out of ideas.
Well,
You killed it today. Anna killed it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
great.
she did good.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
There was a moment. I'm like.
I mean, Billy thinks you're a cross-dresser now for sure.
There was a moment where I'm like, what the is this? Wait. Is this real? And because, as I said, when I preface your voicemail, I'm like, the voice to text thing or whatever it's called, like come up and it was like, hey, it's Hannah. I'm like, oh no, this might not be a joke. So I listened to it for like a little bit past where she's like, he's lost his marbles.
And he's actually out looking for them.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck that shit, dude. No.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you.
Thank you.
For sure.
Hey man, thank you for taking the call. That was really cool. It was,
Oh, definitely.
Maybe you can be Harry next week.
Yeah, sorry for squeaking. This is literally like the biggest improv I've getting done.
Well, everybody can see what you're doing, so
Oh, shit.
it's working, man.
God, we're such a low budget ass show right now. Anyway,
So,
we're
if you'd like to sponsor the show,
I was just gonna say we take PayPal.
Here's the thing. I have like.
But how fun was that?
Oh my God.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
The thing is I have like all the shit to hook it up, but I
well,
didn't.
we weren't planning on a
What was
call
the
in.
kid? The dude Bobby Antonita used to always call in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he used to call in all the time and like talk shit, and then I don't know.
Colin Stiles.
I don't know. Bobby thought we weren't Rail to Berm anymore or something.
Thank you, Hayana.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's a good sport.
All right, so we got to move
Is that the pregnant wife that's out mowing the lawn with a vest on?
Yes.
She's a trooper. I mean, she's gonna
She's
be whatever with Jeremy.
She's gonna have to deal with him.
She is right. She's gonna marry this.
I'll tell you what, though.
Specimen.
She is probably more sarcastic
Than him.
and on point
Yes.
than he is. She is hilarious.
So does she keep him on his toes? Is that kind of what we're...
They're a duo.
I love that she added, does Melissa even like me? But she is, she as much as Jeremy's a shit talker, she's like a notch above him. So, anyway,
they're a good match.
Here we go to our news, rumors, and gossip.
Let's get to the news.
It goes a little different.
We updated it. It's look at this, Harry. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Next week's show.
Stick with us, Harry. We're going places.
We're trying. Thanks to Billy.
Chris Melter.
All right.
Chris Medler.
Next week's guest is Chris Medler from the Michigan S² team.
He won the team series that the show sponsored, and we said, hey, look, if you win this thing, you got a whole show dedicated to your team.
Wow.
So we're going to be talking all things Michigan S² team next week.
God, I can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No, he actually, his wife, they have done a ton this year for
so many tracks.
Like the Michigan State Series and everything.
You're not kidding, brother.
They've done a ton. They've been out. They've helped and helped, score, announce, everything. So next week, Chris gets his due.
For
That's
sure,
awesome.
for sure.
The whole Peak Performance, Biolab Science, they're doing a team series as well. It's like 5 races in Tucson.
Nice.
We got to get him up here to Michigan somehow.
Yeah.
I think there's flights into Detroit, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
where Melissa and I live, we're right smack dab pretty much in between Flint and Detroit. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to land in Detroit.
So,
Flint.
I got a story about Flint.
Oh, shit.
I want to hear this.
Wait a minute. You're still in here?
Hey, how'd Paul get in there?
Flint's a great place to park a motorhome for 10 days.
No one will F with it, dude.
When was that?
1984.
Okay, maybe back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
you
flew into
park a motorhome there now.
I picked up a brand new motorhome, a brand new trailer, and then I had to go pick up the whole team from the airport. And then we drove around. We were on an 8-week tour with DB. And so that was the one I told you guys about where the guys had to race for the beds.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Loser had to sleep on the
poor
floor.
Matt Hayden had to sleep on the floor the entire time because everybody else did better. But we spent a lot of time in Flint. So I'm the oldest guy, right? So I'm supposed to be responsible.
Yeah, but you were, what, 16 or 18 or something?
Yeah, I got, kids that, they're going through puberty, right? So they met these girls.
Uh-oh.
And were they from Flint?
Yeah, they were Flint girls.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Could that be from
Well,
Those guys, my
from
team took
Durant.
off, and I didn't see them until the next morning.
well, they
They
probably
had these
got
girls come pick them up, and these girls brought them back.
Well, hey, they made it back, right?
Yeah, they made it back.
Yeah, it's definitely the difference between 84 and now.
They wouldn't make it back.
No.
And meanwhile,
Flint's
I had this
pretty rough
big ass
place.
motorhome, and because I was a pro, I had to like make sure I got my sleep, and I didn't go out and do stupid things, take care of the kids.
Well, we appreciate that. So, moving on.
Correction on next week. It should be the 19th.
What they put on there?
Yeah, your friends in your chat are just picking on you.
Here's the thing.
I think it says today.
We gotta slap that thing together pretty
Motherfuckers,
quick.
Here's the thing. Anyway, moving on. We got this raffle.
All right. This month's contest is the.
We literally have 8 spots left.
All right, so folks, you got to get these tickets. Check this gate out. Harry might even want to get in on this. Check this gate out, Harry.
If he doesn't, I'm just going to put a spot in for him.
We're not shipping it.
It's a Michigan
God, no.
Wild has gotten together with Yellow Cat Gates, and we put together this fundraiser. All right, the tickets are $20. There's only 80 spots. All right. Winner takes home this gate. You guys can see it up there in the picture. The gate breaks down so you can store it in your garage. It's got the lights, the sound, the whole 9 yards. The gate's adjustable. You can adjust how fast or slow it drops. Like I said, it's $20 for a ticket. There's only going to be 80 tickets sold. We have 8 left.
And we did amend the last part. Remember that?
Yep.
Because we were going to do like all 8 tracks here in Michigan. However, there's been like more tracks from Ohio. So we're like, look, we'll take the top 8 tracks of entries. So, like there's Akron, there's Toledo, there's Cape Coral, Sarasota.
Anybody.
The more people that you get from your track to get in on this raffle, those are the tracks that we're going to toss helmets to, okay? And look, we all know helmets don't hurt.
So we're taking all the money and we're buying fly racing helmets and we're going to donate them back to tracks. That's the whole point of this.
And we're going to take Chris's Bell 475 helicopter.
Oh, helicopter. Okay.
And we're going to fly him down. We're going to fly all those helmets down there. So, you want to plug the masks? Because you were talking about them before the show.
The masks? All right. Yeah. We do have All Things BMX Show / T-Bone BMX masks, and it seems like more and more everybody's going to have masks, especially if you folks
better have one at this national this weekend.
Yeah, if you're going to Maryland this weekend, you better get a mask.
I just read that.
These people are getting real serious about this mask deal. All right, so if you want to have the coolest mask around, it's this one right here. It looks cool. It's really comfortable. We got one. They can't see that, dude.
How fucking fast do you think I am with everything going on right here? Jesus, there's more electronics here.
Fast?
No, he's talking shit on me because I can't pull that picture up like instantly, and I'm like, there is more I don't want to quote old school, but there is more electronics in this studio than a goddamn Kiss show, and he's like, where's the mascot?
Were you a Kiss fan when you were a kid or what?
Who, me?
Yeah, I was.
Fuck no, man. I was an America fan. Sister Golden Hair, son. Doobie Brothers, actually. That was my big thing.
These masks are great.
And they double up as a string bikini in a pinch.
Yeah, again, if you need to walk...
Prove it.
Prove it. I'm not.
It's headed her way.
So
I need more than one.
So check these things out.
Show's off the rails.
Check these masks out. Get one. Help support the show. We'd appreciate it. They're $10 if you get them from us at a race or in person here. If you catch us at a race, they're $10.
If you show up at Chris's house,
12.
They're 15.
They're 15 because he's got to pay for his fucking alpaca.
Or they're $12 and we'll send them to you.
And I'm gonna take them and like fold them up and put them in a regular envelope, just so you know. Our next little bit of news is the Talking TO segment. Look, if you are a TO, if you're a president, it doesn't matter what you're involved in at your local track, and you've got some news that you want to share. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bang out as professional production, as you want to title it. And what you're looking at right now is one of them that we did for Higher Park and Fort Wayne BMX. So what we do is we record your show, your infomercial.
There you
I
go.
think that's
It's basically an
it
infomercial.
is. It's an infomercial, you know. And our first one was, Barney and Dan, and they had a great time. It's on our page. Check it out. But if you guys got your own news. If you just want to come on here and talk shit on another track, just do it. We're all about it.
Let's keep it friendly. I mean,
Cat's eating the mask.
No, I need.
You know what, guys? It can be like politics because each candidate doesn't matter. They all get the same amount of talk shit time.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
You don't favor anybody.
That's
you
what
give
I'm saying.
everybody
We
30
don't.
seconds, and you have to put up with it.
So you know a good state we should start in.
Ohio.
Ohio? Oh.
No one likes Ohio.
Don't start that.
I mean, I like Toledo.
I mean, we got the Michigan-Ohio thing going on. That's been going for 100
but
years.
the thing is that like it was an ill-traded. It was an ill trade.
Yeah.
Because we traded the UP for Toledo, but in hindsight, I'd rather have kept Toledo.
We like the guys in Toledo. The Toledo BMX guys are cool, but yeah.
Look at you
know,
playing diplomat.
Billy says I live here and don't like Ohio.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Billy
Like,
from
no.
Gate 9.
I like making Chris sweat right now.
but-
So let
yeah,
me
'cause I
let me
don't know
put
who he's gonna
let me
come.
put him up on the
But-
screen like he's just sweating like a son bitch right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Because we're talking shit on Ohio. I'm saying what I'm saying is Florida, like Florida, talks shit on each other.
What's next?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's pretty,
Okay.
Let's
Let's invite
wait
Florida
a minute.
tracks on
Well-
here to talk trash.
right. Well, while we're talking about that, our buddy
Who?
Chris Allen down in DeSoto, if he's got something going on at DeSoto
He
BMX
doesn't
wants to
send
talk
us-
about.
He has his own show.
Well, that's true. He's probably on right now, actually. So
I
if
know,
you guys
he does
get a
all the
chance,
time.
No, he's
check
in
out
bed.
Chris's Corner.
No, he's probably in bed at this point. Melissa
Oh,
has a good
maybe.
point.
Chris Knowles?
Chris Allen. So
DeSoto.
our next little bit of news is the Trooper Caleb Starr benefit that's going to happen at Lansing on Saturday. So look, you got nothing else to do on Saturday. Come out to the Lansing BMX track in Michigan,
Hey,
and
Beer, send the helicopter. I'll be there.
Sure. Right.
well, now here's some things that have been added. There is a money race, and there's already $1,000 in the money race, and
Holy cow.
all what happens is the entry fees from the money race, it's like $20 to jump in the money race. Now, before you get butt hurt and you're like $20, oh my god, understand that $10 of your entry fee is going to go to Trooper Caleb, his
the
benefit,
family.
okay, and his family. So. Yes, $10 is going to end up in the payout, right? So half of that entry fee is going to go to the payout. However, there is a whole shot, and I just found out, late breaking news, we got lights. They're going to roll in lights. We have lights.
Oh, so we're going under the lights, eh?
If needed. It's going to be a good time, and I don't know, but for the most of the people that live in the Midwest do know this. So I don't know if the rest of the people know that are watching the show, but if you have ever been to the Lansing BMX track, you need to make sure you walk out gate C, which is right behind registration, and you go over and you order yourself a Hammy Sammy.
Where at? Where are we going to?
The restaurant
Lansing,
right behind the
Michigan,
goddamn
behind-
registration
Is
building.
that the oh gosh, what's the name of that?
Yeah,
place?
thanks, dude. I thought I knew it too. Anyway,
The
just
nip-
go over
is
there
that
and get
the-
nip
You
and
two
sip.
Nip and sip?
need to, it's
Nip and
getting
sip?
late.
Oh my god.
Just nip and sip. Moving on.
That was a segue to Chris that didn't have it and I didn't have it. So anyway, Nip and Sip has the best Sammy Hammies that you're ever gonna have. So get over there, order it. But look, this this race is gonna have. I'm gonna safe to say it's gonna have the highest payout for any pro race or pro am race
Around
in
here,
Michigan.
definitely,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It might rival the Midwest. So we will see. And here's the thing about this: we will have the results.
Perfect. That would be awesome if we could get the results for one of these things sometime.
If you guys have events, please send us the results. Happy birthday time.
Wait. So again, that's Lansing, Michigan this Saturday. Capital Area Family BMX. Go check them out.
Capital City Family.
Is that what I said? No, I didn't. I screwed it up again. I can't get the name right on those guys. I am so sorry, Steve.
Hey, Harry, do you have a birthday?
Is that Cody Wilson from the ABA and the Terry Tedent Hall of Famer?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
So we have birthdays. And we're going to start with Cody, USA BMX employee. He's a track operator extraordinaire. Happy birthday. BJ Wagner, track builder extraordinaire. Happy birthday to you. August 10th, shout out to Tony Mallory and Terry Tennant. And we have another birthday. We do. Right. But you don't know about this birthday.
Okay.
Nope, not here anymore. It's Ron Burgundy's birthday. But it's not Ron Burgundy.
This Ron.
That Ron Burgundy.
Oh, the cat.
That is the one that tore down
half the studio.
Last week. That is Ron Burgundy. Look at him. Melissa and I adopted this kitty a year ago, right?
He's a year.
He doesn't miss a meal, does he?
No.
He look. That is a thick.
That cat is a fat, happy cat.
I can be down here in the office.
He's fast as hell.
He does laps around here. He'll come down the stairs and drift, Tokyo drift, and then just rip ass around the whole studio, aka basement. And that is the same cat that ripped half the studio down last week. Just so our viewers know, there is Ron Burgundy.
Fast pussy.
That is, thank you. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and thank you.
Saying that.
Oh my goodness, Melissa.
Yes, dear.
It is time.
Well, before. Oh.
No, we can go back here.
Well, I had a special request from a teammate of ours.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna pull up his request.
Okay.
So, one of the young men on the ATB team, Zayden David, is really putting in time on the track, and he's really working super hard to improve. And his family wants to be able to continue to give him all that they can to meet his goals. And so his dad, Randall, has reached out to the Facebook world, and then he also asked us personally if we would mention that they have started a PayPal account for him that will be going directly to Zayden's BMX career. If anybody has an opportunity to donate, anything would be appreciated. It's going to be put right into his race fees and travel expenses, and just kind of working towards keeping him going. That email is Zayden, Zayden, BMXer, BMXER @gmail.com.
All right, we'll get it up.
Okay. Yeah, I told Randall I would put that out there.
We got $40. We're gonna start with $40 right from here.
So you guys can message the show too if you
got
want,
$40, Chris.
Want that further?
Not on me.
Further help.
You better get your ass to the ATM machine and get that $40.
Is that what you're talking about on me? I don't have it on me. No.
We this kid's amazing, and granted, there's lots of kids out there, but he's one of ours, so we want to help him out when we can.
Yeah, we do what we can for anybody. So
you can help out.
Well, good luck, man.
It'd be appreciated.
I think I can say is rely on discipline. Don't rely on motivation. Motivation is an emotion inside. Discipline is a commitment to your plan.
Ooh, like that. I like that a lot.
Discipline.
So Harry,
you gotta go ride at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You go ride at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Doesn't matter how you feel.
Right.
Are you ready for the trivia?
I'm ready.
Hell yeah!
All right.
And it's not about Harry directly.
It's not.
It's not.
All right.
Oh.
So that means I can play.
No.
Well,
No.
you definitely have an advantage
You pedals
when it
BMX.
comes to Anything BMX trivia.
That's right.
So it's trivia time with Melissa.
That is right. So I got a copy of the Heavy Pedals zine. I got a number plate.
Number plate?
Who is this? Lips number plate.
And next
there.
week it's going to be Gate 9 for
old school
Gate
number
does
plate.
or Gate 9 doesn't sponsor us anymore.
and a T-Bone T-shirt. All right. So when we started the show, Harry was kind of chit-chatting with us, and he mentioned that it was someone very special's birthday today. And the cue is that this person started the NBA, and I would like to know who that gentleman is. I'll give you that cue.
Man,
too.
great question.
That's a good one.
Hey, I got a question.
No Googling.
Who?
Are those Wallies on the shelf behind you?
Wait,
No,
where? The what?
the Waterford trophies, the Worlds. That's what he's talking about.
Those aren't Wallies, right?
No, they're not Wallies.
Okay.
How do you just pick up on that, Chris?
I don't even know what a Wally is.
I don't,
A Wally.
dude.
Chris has helicopters and jets, and he's a well-versed person. So those two statues.
Those are from, yeah,
right.
yeah. Those are from the '94 Worlds.
At Waterford.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris was like. He's been and still is like heavily involved at Waterford, and he convinced me this year to for some godforsaken reason to take over the TO role. And then he convinced, and the best part was not only did he convince me to take the TO role over, he convinced Melissa to take the treasurer role over. Then he convinced me in the same aka lunch/dinner meeting at the Highland House down the road from our house to start our show. So if somebody's like, Tompkins works in sales.
Does he sell swampland in Florida?
This cat needs to sell, because not only did he be like, start this podcast show, which I had no idea how to do. He got Melissa to take that role over and me to take the TO role over. So shout out to Chris, because if it wasn't for Chris, none of this would happen.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
It's a team
old school rules.
It's a team effort.
All right, Mr. Robert Cardoza is the first one to get.
Mr. E.T. himself.
Yes.
He raced the track that Ernie built.
He did. Now, I think we need to do a trade.
Nobody knows about him, but
we got to do a trade with him, because when he comes on the show, there's going to be so many people that have no idea how big of an influence he is. But we'll do a teaser. The movie E.T., and he was a big part of it.
Huge part.
yeah, we'll just say that at this point.
Thank you, Robert.
I don't think you should fairly send all that swag to Robert, though.
Really?
No?
No?
Yeah, I think Robert should, he should donate it.
Well, we could donate it back to the Trooper
show
Star.
That's somebody that you guys could then raffle it off for this kid who's trying to make, needs money to go race and keep his sport going. What was that kid's name?
Oh,
Zayden?
Zayden.
Zayden, yeah.
Well, we could do that.
Come on,
or we
Robert.
could,
Donate it back.
Robert could donate it to the Trooper Star benefit, or we could raffle it off for Z.
Yeah.
His nickname is Z Money.
Z Money. There you go.
Z Money.
Robert will do. I'll text Robert and make sure he does that for you.
Well, actually, text him. Make sure that he joins us here in a few minutes when we go off the air and go.
He said he's donating. He was just going to tell me to have
He was going to
another
do it
one.
anyways.
He's such a cool cat,
This dude's awesome.
Yeah, his girlfriend in England, Jane, will be so happy.
And he's got a hat for me.
He does?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really awesome.
I have a hat for your girl. I assume that's me. I don't know.
That's
kind of what I'm saying.
Look at you see your wife? She had a little wiggle in the back on her chair.
She does.
Yeah.
I'm standing. My ass hurts.
Oh, you're standing.
Well, after last week, I found out that she's going to be my wife. We're going to go to Vegas. We're going to get married at the same place.
Wait, what?
Oh, where Tracer.
Oh, you don't remember?
Hey, hold on.
Tracer's doing the jump.
I am 2 hours from Vegas. If you don't invite me,
No. Look, you're gonna be there. It literally will be.
It's gonna be at that hotel Tracer
Wait,
did the
what?
jump over the piano.
Oh yeah,
What are we
you made
talking
sure
about?
that everybody knew that we were gonna get married at the.
I'm not getting married in Vegas.
You were last
Well,
week.
that's what's changed from last week, honey.
No,
So
you
you
guys
got
are
a
making
witness
that
right
up.
here, man.
No, we have it on YouTube too. Because we
No,
have to,
that was not said on YouTube.
No, it wasn't.
That was probably. It, might have been after
You're right.
show.
You're right,
It was
honey.
after
It was
show.
definitely after. But we're gonna get married at the hotel that Tracer jumped the piano, and
Oh, I don't
it'll be an
remember that
all-star
at all.
cast of BMXers.
Vegas is full of BMXers. You guys will have the best time. Chris Evans, all those guys from the Vegas locals,
Yes.
and
Oh yeah.
the Sharks.
They're
and
so cool.
All the tracks there.
They have been sharing like everything we post, and it's so cool. There's
Yeah,
such
yeah.
a good group of guys and gals over there at
Never said
Vegas
anything
locals.
in the chat. What the hell are they talking about?
No, well,
I had my 60th birthday party at Evil Pie, and I got the little deal back there.
that's the thing. Melissa was
The Evil
I didn't
Pie
say
pizza. So you
nothing
go
about
in there.
Evil Pie.
Yeah, you
eat
did.
it. Yeah, that's what
I did
Tracer.
that.
No, because that's right. Because
That's-
if we went out there, Tracer Finn said he would buy us pizza at the pizza place. Yeah.
God.
Evil Pie.
Hey, and not even stressing about that, but all right.
Back to the show.
You might want to stress about your wedding night.
We're gonna plan that like we plan the show about 20 minutes before we go on. It's always a great time to have you on, Harry.
Lost for words right
It's man, it's I can't wait to meet you in person. It may or may not be Melissa Knight's wedding.
It may or may not be.
I'll tell you guys what, we are going to be hanging out in the after chat here in a few minutes. We'll post it on the social media page, and
Stop over there. Is there anybody else you'd like to thank before we get out of here?
Well, Biolabs.
Personally?
Yeah, but personally, your sponsors, that type of thing. Anybody you give a shout out to?
Well, Jamie over at Biolab Sciences, the whole Peak Performance youth cycling thing that they're doing over there. It's an incredible program they got going on. Fast House, 60 helmets, Garnet shoes, the DK bikes. I really can't wait till I get to really dial those things in. I met some really, really, really cool people at Chandler. A lot of them are going to the race in Maryland this weekend. So good luck to Susan, and hope that she has a great event. And stay focused, and one gate, one round, one moto at a time, just like the Rocky movie. But you guys, I mean, we really didn't talk a whole lot about BMX.
We didn't.
No,
it was a good time, though.
And that's the cool part, because there's so much more BMX we could talk about.
It's almost like sitting around a campfire just shooting a breeze.
Man, anytime you're on, that's what happens. It's always
Just hang out.
Yeah.
What'd you do with the grips, Justin?
Well, I had, because I donated them to the
To the auction.
to the auction, I spent a shitload of money winning them things back.
I can get more. I know the guy that makes them.
Well, I need a pair for my cruiser that
we're
I ate
good.
shit on, because I just put like a brand new pair of grips on there, Ames grips, FYI. Put them on, and then I went out there and ate shit. So I could take another pair whenever you get around to them. But man, I'm like,
That's cool.
I want them things so bad. And look, here's the only reason. The little locking part, right here, because it has your name on it, man. And like,
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
just
I didn't even get to
that's
see
why
them.
I wanted them. That's it, man.
I need to see them.
So it was really awesome. You autographed the package, and then I spent too
even
much
want to
money
say
to
how
make
much.
sure I won them back. But thank you. I can't tell you how much. But it probably wasn't as much as the person that won your number plate from The Rock, which was super awesome. And just for a moment, I'm going to take a pause for a second and say thank you to Moses from Mighty Mo's BMX Cruise. He donated stuff, and Tracer he tossed in a shit ton of stuff, and another thing.
Isn't Chaser a cool dude?
A rad dude, man.
Yeah, he's
like
nice.
a great
Dude,
story.
I was at the race when his finger got taken off in his sprocket.
Get out of here.
Oh, he told us about
No, I was there at it was on Decatur. The track there, it was like, and his finger got chopped off, and somebody put it in a cup of ice, and they went and sewed it back on.
Well, I'm going to let you tell more details in the after chat, but
I'm sorry to end the show like that. But
it was so no, his jersey and everything else. His jersey was another thing. Totally. Oh God, totally put too much money in on that one. But I did. I got the grips and I got the jersey back. And then Tracer's like, I totally could have got you another jersey.
I'll send you another pair of grips.
Like, oh shit. Well, anyway, you know what? For those that are listening that don't know this, your guys' donations helped attribute to the highest silent auction raffle that we've ever had at Waterford Oaks BMX. And look, I understand we're on a show. It's not all about Michigan, but y'all know Waterford Oaks BMX. So
yeah.
It was the biggest fundraiser we ever had.
It's where we're.
How long has that track been there?
1974.
Exactly.
And the best part is, we just put in a bid with our friends at the Detroit Sports Commission to try. I'm going to emphasize try to secure a national for the next 3 years. And the reason the third year is so important is why, Chris?
Oh, here we go.
What? Oh, he's going to put me on the spot. That would be the Olympics, wouldn't it?
And
what else?
There'll be our anniversary. How many years have we been?
50th.
Thank you. So I'm a youngin'. I don't know all things, but I know things, and I do know this. We're going to try to secure it for that big 50th anniversary. And I'm going to tell you what, after our state race that we had this year, Melissa, was it not a big party?
It was. It was a good time.
We even had a big delay.
Can I go?
We had a big delay, but I'll tell you what, we made it a party. We had golf carts throwing,
exhausting.
popsicles out, and
it was a lot of fun, but it was exhausting.
It was, and it was a good time.
Still recovering today.
I think so. Yeah.
So thank you to everybody that came. Thank you to yourself, Harry, that donated to make it a big party.
Cindy for all her work.
Cindy and Tracer, Moses and everybody. Thank you guys. I could keep going on, but we're going to end the show as we always do. Chris.
All right. So, everybody, thanks again for stopping by tonight. Make sure you like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you check the notification on there so you know every time we go live. We're also on Twitter. We also have the podcast version of the show, which you can find on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all your podcast platforms. Check us out there. Again, make sure you share the show with all your friends. If you have any news, information you want to share with the show, email us at allthingsbmxshow@gmail.com. Again, Harry, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and God bless.